Yeah. Uh, yes.
680, by the way, people.
Yes, 680.
680.
Sounds like a milestone, but it's not really.
No, I know. Right, Duke, intro, do it
All
now.
right, Duke, intro. Yes, I'm ready to do an intro. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Oh, come on.
Let
Here we
me
go.
talk. I am talking. Will you let me talk? Can I talk for once?
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers.
Hey, what happened?
Jimmy and the fellas will tell you about every single game that you play in this week.
Hello?
News,
Hello?
reviews, and
Stop
anything
saying
else.
hello.
Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite savior.
Kiss my big Springfield behind Shelbyville!
It's the veteran gamers.
I am invincible! Invincible! You
It's the veteran gamers.
Maybe people should think before they speak.
That's suspicious.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat. yo.
That's suspicious. That's suspicious. That's weird.
Hello and welcome to episode 680 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yeah, 680. This is going to be a super fast show. Here we go. All right, story time. Who's got a story?
My favorite time. It's story time.
Story time.
I got a story time. I hit 500 days on Duolingo. 500 day streak. What?
So what are you learning exactly? What languages are you
Yo
learning?
aprendiendo español.
Oh, español.
Yo puedo hablar español uno poquito. A little bit.
How's it
Tiny
actually
little-
going?
Yeah, I think it's going all right. I'm mostly just learning words, so I'm not able to actually converse much, but whatever. It's better than nothing. I'm learning a little bit and it's good to learn. So yeah. And I got something I can brag about on social media. 500 days.
500 days, but I'm not being funny. That's like over a year. That's like nearly 2 years.
Yes, it's right.
In 2 years, right, I'd expect you to be able to have a conversation in Spanish.
Yo puedo. I can.
Are you sure? You just said you knew words. You didn't know how to do converse.
Well, I mean, yo puede hablar uno poquito. I can talk a little bit.
Oh, okay. So if you went to Spain on holiday, you'd get by, would you?
And maybe. I don't know how to say maybe. A veces, sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, about little. You know what little is?
Yo amo juegos video. I love video games. That's how you
Oh,
say
okay.
that. So, a little bit. And I'm using Google Translate at times. Like, on Rocket League, sometimes we have people who don't speak English, and I'll be like, yeah, it's Kool-Aid time. And they'll go, no English. And I'll be like, está temporo de jarrito soda. Woohoo. So trying to fix it up. Viva la raza. A little bit of Spanish here and there for our amigos, compañeros.
I'm sure they all appreciate that, Duke.
Oh, yeah, they love it. They're so grateful. Everyone in
Yeah.
Rocket League is so friendly and kind. Yeah.
Exactly, especially the Spanish players
Here's-
now that you can speak
Anybody
the
who
language.
actually is on, if anybody's on PC Rocket League and you see the text chat, you can tell who speaks Spanish because when if English speaking people are trolling, they'll be like, shut the fuck up. Spanish speaking people troll by typing J-A, 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 J-A over and over again. Yeah. So it's like, shut the fuck up, gringo, is basically what that means when they type J-A, 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 J-A.
Who knew? Who knew?
Now you know, a little bit of multiculturalism for our friends and fans.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
can I just say I've had some good news this week?
No, we don't have any time. We got to keep it moving. All right, go ahead.
Well,
What's your
no
good
time
news?
for good news.
No,
Honestly.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Good news.
So I went to have a blood test this week. Well, two blood tests. 'Cause
Yes. Okay.
that's my life now. People sticking fucking
Yeah, it
needles
is.
in me all the time. That's my
Yeah.
life.
And not sexy needles like you usually
No,
have
not
stuck
sexy
in-
needles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went for a blood test and they were testing my BNP levels, right? That's nothing to do
Ooh, okay. Yeah, your racism levels and your
with the British
anti-immigrant
National
levels.
Party, can I just
Yeah,
say?
no, I know your BNP. You got all
Um,
kinds of BNP levels.
So basically, BNP test, it tests the enzyme in
Here's
your
your
blood.
BNP
I want
levels.
Britain to be about British.
That's exactly it. It tests the enzymes in your blood to see how stressed your heart is.
Okay.
Okay. So it's kind of an indicator when you've got heart failure.
Well, yeah.
Now, a normal person's should be below 100.
Okay.
Okay. But normal sort of range is up to 400.
Between
Okay,
100
so-
and 400. Gotcha.
Yeah, but well, up to 100's ideal. Up to 400 still sort of can be a normal kind of score.
Okay. Gotcha.
when I was in hospital and diagnosed, it was 5,150.
Oh my God, that's way
So-
above normal.
Yeah. So it was severe, basically. So
Yes. What's it at now?
Well, here we go. This week on my test results, it was 226.
That's way down. Congratulations.
It is. So percentage change is enormous from when I
Yeah,
was
it is.
diagnosed to when I am now.
Totally.
So
That's
yeah.
great.
So fingers crossed.
So keep drinking that water. Keep taking it easy.
Yeah,
keep
taking the
meditating.
pills. Taking the pills.
Taking the
The
pills,
pills
that
are
too.
doing the stuff.
Yeah. I'm
But
glad
it's
to
all
hear
a,
it.
it's all a
And
yin
you're
and
feeling
yang.
well?
I'm feeling fine. But it's all
Good.
yin and yang because
Well, yeah.
I'm on a new pill now that we started taking last week called Entresto.
And Tresto, I heard about that.
Entresto, which is a combination pill, which is great because
Okay.
it reduces the chances of being rehospitalized by about 12 to 20%.
Well, I
So
would
that's
hope
pretty good.
so.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. And it can also increase your ejection fraction. So it can and
Ejection
sort of
fraction. We don't need to
ejection
know
frac-
about your sex life here, buddy.
which is how they measure the power of your heart pump, basically.
I see.
A normal, again, just to give you some indication, a normal person's is between 55 and 65%.
Okay.
So that's what normal. Mine was less than 25 when they
Oof.
measured it. So they did a study on this, and over a year, most people's on average increased by 12%. So that's good news.
That is good news.
But it can also cause renal failure as a
Ooh,
side
that's
effect.
not
So
great. That's bad
so
news.
let's hope that doesn't happen. So there you go.
Fingers
So
crossed.
So
All right,
there's a
well, I'm
medical
glad you're
update,
feeling
people.
well and
I'm
getting some
feeling
good
fine.
news medically. Okay, good.
Good news. Things are
Great,
looking all
Chinny,
right.
how you doing?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
How are you, Chitty? You still ill?
I think I'm ill again.
Oh, you're
Oh,
always fucking
no.
ill. Honestly,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
you need to
think
do it
people-
properly, like
That's
me.
weird.
You think people would have more sympathy for people that are always ill?
I'm
but
I'm
they
sorry to
don't.
hear that you're ill.
They have less
God.
sympathy.
Yeah.
But I'm always ill, so.
Is it just standard ill? Can we ask?
Don't know yet. Don't know.
Well,
Who knows?
hoping it's standard ill.
Are the
Hoping it's
symptoms
standard
like
ill.
I'm
hay
not-
fever-ish or?
Just like a sore throat.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, that
Uh-oh.
sucks.
Uh-oh.
We won't expect
Yeah.
you to talk too much tonight.
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad.
I'll tell you what, where I work, it's like COVID central again. Like everybody's got it. We've got 4 residents,
Sucks.
5 members of
Oh,
staff.
jeez, that's not great.
It's constant, honestly. It never ends.
Yeah.
Never ends.
More
Anyway,
people,
that's
more people have it now, and people talk about it less.
that's true.
Well, yeah,
That's absolutely true.
there's this
Yeah.
fatigue that's set in, and people. I don't know about over there, but over here, it's like people are just trying to pretend like it's gone.
Yeah,
But
that's the same.
you know, especially immunocompromised people are at risk. We can't let our guards down, y'all.
That's me, by the way.
safe.
Can I just say?
Well,
I'm
there
trying
you
to.
go. We need to keep
I'm-
Stu safe.
I'm just keeping my distance from everybody. I'm just like,
I
don't come
like
near
it.
me.
And you wear a mask at work?
Oh yeah, we still wear masks at work, so that's fine.
Yeah.
We've
I
just
think I
done
probably ought to, but I'm not. Like, it's so much harder to teach through a mask.
because we're classed as an outbreak again. We've got to have PCR tests again for 2 weeks,
Right.
and lateral flow tests every day. So
Oh,
it's
big
pretty
pain
good.
in
As
the-
soon as someone tests positive, it's like go home, out of
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're able to do that. Like,
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. A lot of places in the U.S. would shut down if that were the case. They don't have enough
Yeah.
staff.
No, it's like well, we just have to because of our vulnerable clientele, as it were.
Yeah, well, again, in the U.S., they'd be like, "Fuck the vulnerable clientele."
So
Anyway.
yeah.
All right. Anybody else got a story of any kind?
No, that's my update. Medical
All
update.
right.
Where are you
Hey.
going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Stu has to get up early. Starting a little early, moving a little faster.
Can I just say, actually, before we move on, can I just say, right, this
Sorry, Jenny.
is
Yes.
the
Holding
best.
up a big bottle of shit.
This is the best alcohol-free ale, in my opinion. It's very, very
Okay.
good.
What's
Advert
it called?
there. It's called Adnam's Ghost Ship.
Okay, let's
It's
not
very,
forget.
very-
A lot of people are only listening to this, so just holding.
It's
up the
got
bottle
it's
doesn't
got
do as much
half
for
a
them.
percent. It has got 0.5% of alcohol in, but it tastes good.
Oh, he's getting sauced.
Yeah.
Call his doctor. Let him know. He's breaking the rules. Guzzling
am.
booze on the
I'm
show.
guzzling
Glug,
pretend
glug.
ale.
Yeah.
So,
All
yeah,
right. Well, welcome to everybody in the chat. It looks like Ian is with us. Luke Rooney, Gavlar. And others. Yeah. All right, Chinny, why don't you go first?
Yeah, Chinny, seeing as you were
What
bloody
you been
late
playing?
again.
Okay. I finished God of War Ragnarok.
Oh wow. Yeah, I need to play more of that.
Finished it.
Finish it. So how was it? Was you satisfied with the
Done.
ending?
I was very satisfied with that game.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a quick question? How hard? Because obviously we had someone write in last week and said the bosses after the credits were super rock hard. Is this true?
I haven't done many. Like there's bosses called Berserkers.
Right.
And
My
they're
love
not,
for you is like a truck berserker.
they're not after the credit. They're in the game. Like when you're playing it, they're like the gravestones. And they're pretty hard. But now that I'm at the end game, like I just beat one about like 2 hours ago. Where like, yeah, it was pretty hard, but I did it. And then apparently when you beat all those berserkers, there's like the king, and you've got to kill that.
The King Berserker.
Yeah, and then there's these
Yeah.
trolls. There's these trolls. Chris Carter told me about these trolls that are dotted around, and you have to unlock them, but you
Right.
have to unfreeze them. And he said, they're pretty tricky, and but like if you're late in the game, they're not that difficult. And then there's a dragon. There's like a frozen dragon that you'll come across,
Oh, cool. I'd love to
Uh,
play a video game with dragons in.
and then you unlock him and you kill him, and I've already fought like 2-3 dragons by now, so I sort of know how they move and what they do. So
Take that,
yeah.
dragon bitches.
I feel like the game isn't too difficult but like probably the I think I got stuck on a berserker boss. Yeah, I
My
think
love for
I
you is
couldn't
like a truck berserker.
I couldn't beat one. But I reckon I can. I reckon I will. But then like there's the final one, which apparently is very, very hard. So I haven't done the big hard boss that I think everybody's talking about. But all the other ones seem doable. Once you get
Well,
to the
I
stage.
can't remember who wrote in about it last week, but he said it took him all day. It took him like a whole day to beat one boss.
Yeah.
I think I'll be honest. I think I would have just given up at that point.
It
I'd
is
have been like-
addictive though. The combat's very addictive. And you sort of know when you've got a chance. So, like sometimes you'll get their health down to a point where you're like it's pretty close, and then you'll die. So then you start to think, well, I know I can get it down to that. So I know I think I can do it. If I just don't get hit. So often like with easy hits, yeah. So I've seen the story. I've experienced the story. It's pretty
You've
good.
lived the story. You've smelled the story.
Yeah,
Smell
I
the
think
story.
I think it is a better game than the first one, but I enjoyed the first one more.
Okay.
Because it's a better game in the sense of there's more areas, there's more variety, there's more weapons, there's more characters. It's deeper. It's a bigger story. There's a really, really good ending to the game. It feels more epic. It feels like a bigger story.
Which one has more penises, Chinny?
Yeah. What about sex?
I think you've got to go to the old trilogy for the penises.
Oh, okay. See, if I want dingalings, it's gonna be
Yeah.
the original, the
Dingalings.
OG.
If you want dingalings, then you've got to go to
Yeah.
like God of War 1, 2, and 3.
Mm.
But these ones don't really have that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the impact of the first one was better. Look, it was more of a special occasion of like, wow, this is amazing. But this is
Well, and as a
probably
reboot, I think there's gonna be something special about
Yeah.
a reboot too.
But this is a better game. I think
Okay.
they've truly sort of scoped it all out, and
Interesting.
it's longer, but it's wider as well, and
yeah.
it's about 47 hours I've put into it to get to the
That's
end.
a fair
4
amount,
hours.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a
And
fair
I've
amount.
done a lot of side missions. I've done a lot of side quests. There's one area that isn't even part of the main route, and it's all side quests, and I've done all of that. So yeah, I've done a fair amount. Apparently, you could probably do the story in like 25 hours, something like that. But yeah,
By the way, Darren Sims said it was him. It was the Valkyrie. He needed it for platinum. That's why he persevered. So are you gonna
the
platinum this, Chinny?
Valkyries are in the first game. Yeah,
Oh, I see. I got you.
yeah, I can't unless there's a Valkyrie in this. No, there is a
There
Valkyrie in this.
There
There is
must
a,
be.
Oh,
There
oh,
must.
Oh,
oh.
there is.
Oh.
There's a Valkyrie at the end that you and this other character talk about,
Okay.
You can
and
stick your beef up your ass.
yeah, I haven't done that. I don't know where quite that is, but I haven't really pursued it or anything. But I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Well, when you hear them flying, then you can know you're near them.
I guess so.
Oh dear.
They've got a
Classical
yeah.
music joke. Oh, the fans are gonna love that one.
So what you did there?
I'm not sure where it is, but I'll probably I might do that before I put the game down.
Well, you
can
need
try
to set
platinum it.
you need to set aside a day.
Apparently
you
so. Yeah.
Or maybe you don't suck the way Darren sucks.
Yeah,
and it's
maybe
possible
Darren
you'll
just
go in and
sucks.
smash it up in 5 seconds.
No, I'm sure I do. So yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's
By the way, if you hear hoovering, that's the Duchess upstairs. She's hoovering.
it's a good game. I highly rate it. I
Yeah,
don't
just
regret
play it, people.
being
Play it. I need to play it.
I don't regret
Sorry,
putting
you
it
don't
top
regret
of Game of the Year
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
2022.
yeah. So you still stand by.
That,
Can I
that would
ask
suck if you said it was Game of the Year and then the next
Yeah.
week you came back, you're like,
Yeah,
the
shit.
last 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Awful,
No. The last mission is great. The last mission is really, really good. I really enjoyed it. So
Well, let me ask you a question. What's your review noise? That's what we want to know.
my review noise for God of War Ragnarok is
Review noises.
oh yeah. You know,
That's pretty good.
yeah,
That's pretty
so
good. I
it's
like
like a
it.
bit of a middle bit
Alright.
of like
Yeah. I look forward to playing this in 2 years when it comes to Steam.
You'll never play it in 2 years because you'll never play it.
How do you know?
Well, have you played the first God of War? Now it's on
No.
PC. Well, there you go. That's why you won't play
Is it on? Well, see, I haven't even.
It's on Steam.
Well,
you
I
can
still
play
haven't
it.
played Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that's more my jam. So
Okay.
or Spider Man. But whatever. Yeah, I didn't really
Yeah.
buy much on the Steam side.
Yeah. You're not gonna bloody play any of these
I'm a
games. All you'll play is
cheapskate.
Rocket League.
Yeah,
bloody-
well. Hey, I
bloody
played a little bit of
Dinkum.
the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Knight thing.
Oh, did you?
Someday I'll go back to that. It's still in my favorites on Steam. I look at it every time I start Steam up.
It's obviously
and
not
I'm
your
like, I'll play
favorite,
Rocket
though, is
League.
it? Otherwise, you'd have played more of it.
Well, but it's more of a favorite than other
what?
games that I have.
Then what? God of War? Because you haven't even bothered with that.
Yeah, exactly. See. Anyway, Chinny, anything else to say about
Honestly.
God of War Ragnarok?
no, other
Okay.
than I recommend it.
All right, Stu, you're up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I have been playing Max Payne 3 again.
Oh yeah.
Got to say, when did this come out? 2012? Was it? Is it 10 years?
2012,
When did it come out?
yeah.
2012. This game stands up well. I really gotta
Yeah.
say, it looks good. It plays well. The story's pretty cool.
May
I'll be honest
15,
with you, the
2012,
voice
by the way.
acting's amazing. And if you didn't know better, you could play this game and like think, oh, it's come out in the last couple of years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's how far ahead Rockstar are of every
Mhm.
other game developer.
Yeah.
Honestly, they are poles apart from everyone else in what they can achieve. I mean,
Definitely.
it's just beggars belief, really, and it just feels so good to play.
Yeah.
I mean, just general gunfights, it's just brutal. Some of the some of the stuff he does is brutal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just love it. I mean, and he's just such a great character because he's just pissed all the time in the whole game.
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah,
just
he killed
spend
his
the
wife and
whole
kid.
game, and
Bound to be pissed.
they do this really cool thing that I'd forgotten about, from the first time playing it, where the camera's constantly going out of focus all the time just to emulate how pissed he is all the time.
Yeah, it's the
And I
rage
just-
meter.
Yeah, well, I love it. I just love the fact that it's just a visual cue that works so well. It's quite
Yeah.
subtle, but you see it because it's obviously happening all the time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And he's just so shit at his job. I mean,
Is
Yes.
it? Sorry, is it really that subtle? It doesn't feel like anything about.
well, it
this
isn't
game
that
is
subtle,
subtle.
really. No, it isn't
Fair
really.
enough.
But
All right.
he is the worst bodyguard in the world.
I remember.
ever.
I remember that's exactly what I said about this game when I played it. It was like he's like
Yeah.
so bad at his job.
It's just
Yeah, sure.
who would pay him money to be this shit at
Yeah.
what he does?
He fails
I mean-
all the time.
He does, and then his answer to everything is just shoot everybody.
Mm.
I mean, you forget about these games from the past where literally like you kill hundreds and hundreds of enemies.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to know, right? And I do love this game, by the way. But you have a shootout, and there's fucking hundreds of these people. Where did he come from?
Just
Coming from the slums.
I know, but
Around.
how many? I'll be honest, right? By the end of this game, if this was real life, there'd be nobody left in the favelas. I mean, they'd be empty
Yeah.
because you kill that many people, there would be nobody left. I
Hey,
mean,
man.
it's pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, this is proper old school. Fucking hundreds of enemies, just kill everything that moves, basically.
Right.
I mean, I say it's a good story, but it is pretty shallow, really. It's him fucking up his job and then trying to get the people back that he fucked up about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is the story. That is the story of
Pretty
this
much.
game. It's pretty much it. Try to fuck
To
up.
be fair, are a lot of people playing this for the story?
No, you played it for the cool kills and
There
you know
go.
shooting people in the face like
Well, yeah.
constantly.
Sure.
And he
And it
does a lot of
delivers on
that.
those things. Yeah, exactly. Says
Does
what
a
it
lot
does
of
what
that.
it says on the tin.
It definitely does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
But it is well written. I mean, the dialogue is snappy. I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty well written. But yeah, it's fun. Look, anybody who's not, I mean, I paid. I can't
Just
even
play
remember.
it.
It was like £2 on
Yeah.
Steam. It was
I'll
like
probably
nothing.
get it one of these days and play it.
You've played it before, though, didn't you?
No. I've never
What?
played this one. I
How?
know. What?
How is that
Ah,
even a
I
thing?
know. Yeah, really.
Like, I'm
Well, it's
shocked.
10 years old. I'm not going to play it now. It's too
Why?
late.
It's good. It's
I'm
still
just
good.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't play a lot of shooters these days.
You.
I mean,
honestly,
I should. I know I should. I probably
Yeah, you
like it.
should definitely
Rockstar knows
play
how to
this,
make a
dude.
game.
It's a lot of fun. And the
busy.
shooting mechanics work really. Although, to be honest, I use the lock on because I'm like, I can't be bothered trying to
Well,
fucking
yeah.
free aim in this game.
Of course. It's because you suck.
And it's way more fun just because you kill everything that moves.
Well, yeah.
It's great.
All right.
But yeah, there you go.
Anything else to say about Max Payne 3?
Oh yeah, no, there is one more thing actually that I've
Okay, go
forgotten.
ahead.
Just play it. Just play it, all right? Just
Right.
play it.
Okay. Moving on. Should we talk about Death Stranding?
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we were challenged. The gauntlet was thrown down by our friend Fredo Jungbaum. What's his name? Mikey
I've no clue.
Southmend.
I have no clue.
Jenny, you remember his name? He sent like 10 emails. I've
No, it
been
wasn't. He
dismissive.
did not. He was the speed
Ernsberger.
pipe. Ernsberger on
All right,
speed pipe.
Ernstberger. Right, thank
David
you. Anyway,
Ernstberger.
David
Ernstberger.
Ernstberger.
You
I
know,
should write it down. Hammer,
sometimes
write
I
it down
worry
here.
about your memory, Duke. I do.
My what? Why are you
Yeah,
worrying about my memory?
exactly. Mm.
All right, so David Ernstberger sent in SpeakPipe saying, "Hey, here's why you should give it a try, Duke." And so I was like, you know what? Those sound like decent reasons. I'm curious to see how it works. And so I played it, and we all said we would play it. And
Yep.
obviously, you know,
And I played it.
I played it.
Yeah, Chinny, do you
No.
play it?
Chinny did
No,
not play it.
No. no,
What?
Okay.
Oh god, you're such a fucking lightweight.
No.
Fucking honestly.
He had said that his PC was too old, which I don't know
Oh,
if
I'm
that's the
sure it
case,
would have
but
worked.
I
Yeah.
don't know if he.
He might have
gave
chugged a
try
bit,
or
but it
not.
would have worked. He didn't even give it a go.
Anyway, yeah.
Honestly.
The point is, we played it.
Yeah, we played it.
Right. There's a quote from Kobo Abe, and I thought that was pretty cool because I went looking. That is an actual writer, and I don't know anything about him, but I thought it was kind of cool that they have an actual quote from that writer. So anyway, yeah. So here's the thing: we watched a movie on Friday night called Wild Indian. It was written and directed by Indigenous Americans, and it stars Indigenous folks. It's about people who grow up on the res. One goes out to California, one goes to prison. It is a slow, contemplative movie about death. And then on Saturday, I got up and I started playing this video game, which is a slow, contemplative movie about death.
Yeah, yeah. It pretty much
It's-
is.
you know, I don't know. Like, obviously there's a market for this kind of game. It's done very well for what it does. Given that so few players complete games, we have statistics about this, don't we? Isn't it like 20% of gamers
Probably
actually
less
complete
than
Wow.
that.
games?
Probably
Probably
less
even
than
less than that. Doesn't that suggest that game developers who want to tell stories have a responsibility to like not drag things out for 20, 30
Oh.
hours?
Give over. You're talking about Kojima here. What do you
I
expect?
know, but
He doesn't do anything
Fair enough.
quick.
Like I did expect it to be long and contemplative and plotting, but I kind of hoped that it wouldn't be quite this slow and quite this contemplative. So here's the thing, Chinny, I can help you experience what it would be like to play this game. In Far Cry 3, when you're kidnapped and then you're held in those cages at the start of the game, and then you break out and you're kind of running around the wilderness without any weapons or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot like that. And then in Far Cry 4, you remember when you get hijacked on a bus or whatever, and then you're running around near a river and you have no weapons or anything.
Yeah.
It's like that.
You have a garage.
Far Cry 5. You remember when Far Cry 5 and you get hijacked, your chopper gets shot down, then you run around the woods with no weapons or anything? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, have a garage. Stop being so melodramatic.
You have a what?
Honestly. You have a garage.
Right, you sure do, and that's very useful when the invisible squishy monster
those you just got to avoid those. You got to avoid those, though. It's stealth. It's a stealth game.
It's a walking around game, picking up packages and carrying them hither and yon. I'd be honest, I didn't play a whole hell of a lot of this. I finished the prologue, and at one point, a single tear rolls down this dude's cheek. That is the most cliched thing in the history of cliches. I tell my high school students, don't have single tears rolling down people's cheeks. And they did it in this game. I'm like, really?
I thought it was pretty effective, personally.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I found it very ineffective. They start info dumping. What?
One thing you've got to admit, though, dude, it looks beautiful.
Yes, it does. It really does look beautiful. And the surrealistic dream sequences when he's being a remnant, whatever the fuck, he's being reborn through the baby's esophagus or something. That's really... the baby that goes...
Oh?
Yeah, exactly. Those are very affecting scenes. Those are very powerful. And so therefore, look, okay, there's two things going on here. There's the gameplay and then there's the movie, right? And you have these moments of walking packages to the delivery spot in between these 20-minute cutscenes. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So I guess my question is, why not just make a movie? If this were just a movie that I sat down and watched maybe on a Friday night, I'd probably be a lot more into it.
Yeah, but part of his vision and part of the game itself is all the players interacting with each other together. So all those ladders you come across and all that.
I didn't come across any ladders. I have no idea.
Well, you obviously didn't play enough. But basically, people leave ladders for you, so other players will build a ladder somewhere to get to another place in the game. And
that's cool.
When you come across it, that is there because it's this kind of community of players helping each other to get through the game, and that couldn't happen in a movie.
No, you're right, but how much of the game is that?
It's quite a lot once you get into it.
Right, that's the game part, and then there's all these cutscenes with the baby and the Black Death and the squishy monsters and the burning of the corpses and the trucks being overturned and the people being lifted into the air upside down. That's a very different part of the game, right? There's the cutscenes and then there's the gameplay. And they feel very disconnected to me. And again, I only played it for an hour or so.
I think the biggest problem with this game is the same with a lot of Kojima games. It makes absolutely no sense.
Well, okay, so that's what I was getting to next. When we talk about the nature of the narrative here, okay.
Yeah.
So quick lesson. Well, first of all, The Simpsons did it, right?
I don't get all this eyeball stuff. What are they supposed to represent? Eyeballs?
It's POMO. Postmodern. Yeah, all right. Weird for the sake of weird.
Oh.
For those who don't know, once upon a time there was people eating mushrooms in the middle of everywhere and everything was psychopathic and people were worshiping sticks and all that shit. And that was pre-modern. And then the church came along and said, no, it's the will of God. It's Allah. It is, worship our pagan deities, our ancestors. Here's this order to the universe. Okay. And then the modernists come along and said, no. It's logic. It's rationality. We had this enlightenment. We had a renaissance. Here's the way it's going to work from now on. It's a scientific method. It's disprovable hypotheses. And then the postmodernists came along after that and said, skibbity-doo, da-da, blah, blah, blah. Here's this urinal that's a fountain, and here's a bunch of random crap on a collage, and let me show a clock melting, blah. And this game is 100% postmodern. It's got trappings of modernity, but mostly it's you can't understand life and death and infinity by straightforward narrative. And I got to be honest, my tolerance for postmodernism has really declined in recent years. The older I get, the less patience I have, especially for stories that are going to take a very long time to make whatever point they're trying to make. So, look, with all due respect to David Ernstberger, I might keep playing this. I haven't uninstalled it. I don't know. But it's much more likely that I'll like watch some cutscenes here and there if they're available on YouTube, and they probably are. If there's points to be made, if there's a meditation on fatherhood, as I take it there is, based on what he said in his speak pipe about, you have to take care of this little baby in a tube.
In a bottle.
Right. First of all, that's not always what I want when I play video games. And secondly, some postmodern stories are good and some aren't. And I tend to be more a fan of these silly sort of absurdist postmodern stories, the Coen brothers, Mark Lehner and the like. But I'm not ready to say that this is not a good story. It's just that it's so, I don't know. It just feels
inaccessible.
Exhausting.
I think is a good.
It is inaccessible, and it's supposed to be. Like that's not an accident, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
So I don't know.
I think it does as you play as you do get further into the game, it does get slightly more fun. And one of the funniest parts is how many packages can you carry in one go. Yeah. But what's kind of interesting, and I'm sure there's two things this game does really, really well. Right, yeah. One is graphically it looks amazing. Right, the environments look brilliant. It looks like if you were in the Lake District in the UK. I mean, that's the kind of environment it is. Or somewhere in the Highlands. You know what I mean? In the Scottish Highlands.
Yeah,
and it's really cool for that. And the other thing it does really, really well is physics. And one of the most interesting aspects of this game is how many packages can you carry? How can you distribute them around his body so he doesn't fall over when he walks?
Well, and there's a lot of the gameplay that has to do with like holding on to yourself so you maintain your balance when you're going down a rocky cragway. When you cross a river, you need to, protect it and keep your balance and not get swept away or fall down or whatever. Yeah. And again, like, I don't know if that's the most fun gameplay for me.
It might not be the most fun, but it is really well executed.
Well, yeah, I'm not disputing.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the interesting thing.
Euro Truck Simulator is very well executed in terms of like how you drive this truck, backing it up. But I don't think that's really fun for me. So,
I don't disagree with anything you've said, to be fair.
Well, okay, fair enough. So we're on the same page that way.
Yeah. I think
in order, right, here's the thing. For a game like this, in order to really assess it, you really do need to play at least 3 to 5 hours of it. And that's asking a lot, especially of a casual reviewer like myself. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not saying I won't keep playing it, but it hasn't got its hooks in me, and it's made me roll my eyes a lot. In fact, as you may be able to see from this, I drew a little eye rolling emoji in my notes because I was just so annoyed by certain things. And I'm just like, I do that a lot when I'm playing a game that makes me roll my eyes. You don't want me to draw that little cartoon, y'all. I did it with Need for Speed Payback.
I'm going to guess that you drawing that roll your eyes emoji is not a good sign for you in this game, Duke.
No, absolutely not. But again, like, I want to keep going in a way because I want to see if I can agree with what David Ernstberger said. There are certain stories like this that I do like, but I don't know. I can't make any promises.
See,
I'm not gonna.
If I was going to give you my interpretation of this, the point of this game,
yes. Given that you played it for how many hours?
Oh, I played probably about 15, 20 hours of it. I played quite a lot.
Holy crap.
I played a lot of it. It's overcoming insurmountable odds. That's what this game's about. It's
okay.
But when you're given the task of, because you spend a lot of the game reconnecting this network, which is kind of like the internet. Right. And that you've got to get to these way stations that you can then add to the network, if you will. And then when you get to those, you can get more packages to take to places.
Right.
But it's kind of a puzzle game in some respects because it is trying to work out how to get from point A to point B with all these obstacles in the way. Be them mountains or rivers or lakes or whatever they may be. And like the invisible creature things, they're almost like a kind of thing that happens when you get near these way stations, or they might be on the journey to get there. And they're kind of almost like a set piece, if you will. That's kind of what they are. They're the like set piece on your way to your destination to
Right.
kind of throw in a curveball.
I mean, I agree with what Fraser Moo said. Kohima was just as wacky in the Metal Gear games, but they had fun gameplay. I played a lot of Metal Gear 5, and I did have a good time with that game, even though it was crazy and having fun and silly. Like, there was some good stuff in there, too. Yeah, I mean, to take what you said, though, aren't most video games about, overcoming insurmountable obstacles? I mean, that's basically the story of Skyrim. How are you going to stop Alduin from, destroying the
Oh yeah,
world?
no, but I
Every
mean,
video game,
this is
pretty
in a
much
way, but this is kind of in a more like physical
In
sense.
a more direct way, right. In a
Yeah,
sense of
direct, because
physicality,
you've
right.
got obstacles in front of you that you have, like physical obstacles, like a mountain or a river
I mean,
or
that's
a lake.
fair. You have those in Skyrim, but I mean, whatever. I'm not trying to split hairs. I
Yeah,
hear what
well,
you're saying.
but
and I know that,
in that you have to
Right.
sort of,
glitch your way up the mountain,
yeah,
right.
jank the
right.
game.
But
to get
ostensibly,
to
you are supposed to like find the pathway up, but it's much more laid out. And this is not. You don't have pathways in this.
No,
I mean,
you have to
kind of
make
do.
them.
You kind of do. I mean, they design the mountains in a specific way so that you eventually can. They don't have any mountains you can't get over, right?
No, no,
Sometimes
but
in,
it is
in
all about
real life, there are mountains you can't get over.
Yeah,
Michael
that's true.
Jackson told us about that on his song "Want to Be Starting Something." Right? He said, "Quote: It's too high to get over. Yeah, yeah. It's too low to get under. Yeah, yeah. You're stuck in the middle. Yeah, yeah. And the pain is thunder." So
You know, that should be the theme song for this game. Now, it would be more fun if that was playing in the background as you were playing it. You know
well,
what I mean?
you could play it. I mean, you
I
can
know,
have your
yeah, but
fun
I'm saying
playing
if it kicked in as you got your ladder attached to the mountainside.
I'ma
there you
say,
go.
mama sa, mama kusa, mama say, mama kusa. Man, why do they have to make such great music and then also molest children?
Well,
God,
this
it's
is-
a moral
this is true.
quandary.
By the way, do you know the story about that? Mama say,
About Michael
mama-
Jackson molesting children?
No, that
Oh.
refrain that you were just singing.
Mama say, mama sa, masa kusa.
Do you know what he actually sang originally?
No.
It was something like you're gonna sing to the sound of Michael's song or something like
okay.
that. And then he thought that he was a bit sort of vain,
Oh,
so
I
he
see.
changed it. So he initially
cool.
it was gonna be an actual
How about that?
gonna sing to the sound of Michael's song or dance to the sound of
Very
Michael's song or
interesting.
something like that.
Okay.
So there you go, a
Okay,
little
sure.
bit of knowledge, like bit of information there for you, a bit of a
Yeah, that's cool.
factoid.
All
So
right.
there you go.
All right, so that's Death Stranding. We don't have too much more to say about it. Thank you for the recommendation there, David Ernstberger. We gave it a try. Stu gave it a hell of a try.
No,
And I
that's
gave it a
not
li-
just now. I played it before, so I played it
Oh, okay. Well,
prior
fair
to
enough.
this.
Oh, okay. Well, still, you put a lot of hours into it.
Oh
and
yeah, no,
respect that. And I
no,
may
no.
go back to more of it. I may watch cutscenes. I don't know. We'll see.
I did get bored eventually, and that was the problem.
Fair enough.
But it does look
yeah.
beautiful. I love it. I love the
It does look
aesthetics
beautiful,
of it.
there's No doubt about it. And
Yeah.
certainly we can all agree.
It's Pomo. Postmodern. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. Weird for the sake of weird.
Weird for the sake of weird.
It probably is. Most of Kojima's games are weird for the sake of weird. Let's be honest.
Correct.
I did like
Yeah.
the cameo from Guillermo del Toro. He's a cool dude, and I don't know. I have respect for him as a storyteller.
Well, he did not co-write this with Kojima.
Maybe
He
I
had
don't
to.
know.
He
But
definitely had some involvement in it.
we watched a making of feature about his Pinocchio movie, and the movie's great, and the making of was actually very good too. So if people like,
By the way,
Guillermo,
although
definitely
it's
check
not
out
a
Pinocchio.
movie, but we should remind everybody that the Last of Us TV show
Yeah, it starts today.
tonight. Starts
It's-
today.
That's right. It's coming
And
up.
tomorrow in the UK. So today in America, tomorrow.
Maybe
in the
I'll
UK.
write about that and get featured on.
Does it come
viral
out like
tweets.
all episodes at once, or is it just?
No,
I'm
it's on
pretty sure it's one at a
HBO.
time.
It's on HBO. So
What's
it's
it
one
on
of the
in
doing it
the
once a week.
UK?
Sky Atlantic.
Gross.
Sky Atlantic. Or if you mean on the Cody box. There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm gonna check if I've got
Ooh,
it
I'm
on the old
telling.
Dodge Flicks.
Yeah, it's on the
Uh-oh.
Dodge
Warning,
Flicks.
warning, warning.
Not that we condone piracy, just saying it's on
I
the
do.
Dodge box.
Kind of did. All right,
I
Chinny, it's back to
agree.
you.
I've played nothing else but God of
Oh
War
my
Ragnarok.
God, we'll
Wow.
talk about that some more.
God, honestly.
Just kidding.
So how was God of War Ragnarok then?
It's good.
Is
Wow.
it
Fight
good?
any Valkyries?
Is he your game of the year, by the way?
It was not
okay.
2023, but it was 2022. I don't know. I got, going to Vegas.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I can't
I
come.
doubt I'll be able to join you, but I don't know. Look into it.
So
It's too expensive for me, unfortunately.
for people that don't know, Robin and Greg are going to Vegas. I know I am, and Pete is. So
Cool.
that's
Your bro.
fun.
Your bro.
Yeah. So that's fun. There you are.
Yeah,
So
I'd
we're
have
going
loved to have
Vegas.
come. I'd love to have come, but
Other people are welcome to join. I
Just
thought
show up in Vegas.
I thought Stu would probably come because he nearly died, and I thought, well, maybe he'll
I
just
know,
like,
I
fuck
know,
it.
I know. I would have done, but it's honestly, it's like travel insurance is just ridiculous for me now,
yeah.
especially in America because your fucking health system is so expensive.
I'll tell you what, though,
Well, yeah.
that health system's pretty good though when you're in trouble. I
Oh,
have
it's
to
pretty
say.
good. It's pretty
Yeah.
good if you can afford it.
No, but when you're in it, there's no place better to be.
No, yeah, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. Interesting. I read a story the other day of someone talking about the health system in America and how broken it is, and because insurance companies pay the bill most of the time, there was one guy saying when he went itemized his bill, they were charging $80 per paracetamol.
Well, yeah. How
For
else are the
one-
healthcare companies going to make a huge profit?
One tablet, $80.
Insulin is like $500 an ounce or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's all bonkers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Got to get paid. Fuck
Gotta
the
get
poor
paid.
people. Fuck the unhealthy people. Shouldn't have been unhealthy.
Oh, exactly. Oh, poor people. Poor people.
What are
aren't
you
they?
supposed to just heal the sick? That's not what Jesus wanted. All right, Stu, you're up. What do you play?
Oh, okay. I've also been playing a Plague Tale Requiem.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been playing a bit more. I've got to get through these games, you know, and you're
Yeah,
like,
you
gotta
do.
get
Come on,
through
get
Yeah,
it.
but
Let's do it.
you get distracted, don't you? Like a little baby.
you do.
So
Not
I
like
know,
me.
but look, I'm coming back to it. You know what I mean? I have been distracted. It is true, but I am making my way back. Yeah, I'm still loving this game. By the way, I still haven't quite got to the ship to take me to the island. I'm still making my way through all the rats again. It's a big
Yeah.
rat section.
there are a lot of rats in this game.
There is a lot of rats
Yeah.
in this game. But I am enjoying it. I am. I do wish I'd sort of persevered and played it all in one go rather than playing it and then coming back to it. I do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way things go.
You wish you did, but you didn't. And
I
there
wish
you
I
are.
did, but I didn't. And
you
I
did,
think
but
it's
you
because, as much as I love it, I do find it frustrating sometimes.
Why?
Because sometimes, and it's probably because I'm old and a bit slow these days,
Oh,
you know, and stuff doesn't work as well as it used to. But sometimes I just find myself thinking, these puzzles aren't really puzzles. They're just frustrating. It's like, I need to shoot this fire arrow here,
Yeah.
chuck a pot over there, and then control the rats with whatever his name is.
When you say
Hugo.
things don't work as well as they
Hugo.
used to, are you talking about your dingaling?
No,
Oh.
my head. you
Oh,
know,
I see.
my
Okay, gotcha.
you know
The
what I
head of
mean?
your dingaling.
Working
Right,
this
okay.
shit out.
Your
And I'm
bell
like,
end.
Oh, yeah, my bell end.
Okay, gotcha.
And I don't know. I just sometimes find it a bit frustrating, and then I get what I've got to do, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I've got to do here. But I don't feel satisfied. I just feel like, oh, thank God I've figured that out. Do you know what I mean?
you to stop being a bell end.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you
Yes,
understand
hear
what I
you.
mean?
Yes.
It's like I'm not like, oh, I've just solved something cool. It's just like, oh, that's how you do it.
Yes.
And the story's good. I am enjoying it. I just like the first one better. I just found the first one more compact. That's quite a good word for it. It kind of was a shorter story. It did what it said on the tin. It had a nice progression loop, and it was just fun to play. Whereas this, I feel like they've tried to do too much, you know, in some respects, and it's almost become, I don't know, too much. I don't know.
I disagree.
I know you would. Well,
Disagree. But
and maybe it's because I've stopped playing it and then started playing it again. That might
yeah,
have...
you're gonna have to like learn things again.
I know. I don't want to learn shit. Just want to, you know what I mean? Set rats on people.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
kind of fun.
if you carried on playing it, you would have remembered. Oh yeah, this does this. Yeah. But now
I
you
know, but I didn't, did I?
can't.
I stopped playing it ages ago and then started again. But I'm going to persevere, though. I know I need to finish it, and I know, it's a really great game. But, yeah. Anyway, Duke, what else have you been playing?
I've been playing several games actually this week. So I've had Lonely Mountains Downhill on my wish list for a very long time. a very, very long time. And it was on sale this week, and I was like, maybe I should get this. And there's a demo, and I was like, well, shit, I could play the demo for free. That's my favorite kind of game to play. Yeah, wait, here it is. I got it.
FREE, free, no charge.
Yeah, so this game is a game where you ride a bike down a hill, and it's like very twisty turny, very hectic, very it's the graphic style is pretty simple, but it's pretty. They did a good job making the mountains look nice, and yeah, so you go, and it's too hard. That's the biggest problem with this game.
You played this, didn't you, Ginny? I vaguely remember you playing this.
Yeah, there's other games like it.
I think I have played. Yes, I have played this.
Okay. Did you find it too hard as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
and
I don't
not very
know,
fun.
like, not fun. That's the thing. Like, first of all, you have to choose your control scheme, and I'm hoping at some point we can have it on the screen so people can see it. You can either do normal left, right, or you can choose to point where on the screen you go. And the reason that you have to choose that is because the camera is constantly moving. And the biggest annoying part of that is that the camera will suddenly reveal a turn in the path half a second before you have to turn. And so you're getting going on a certain speed, and then suddenly, you got to go left. And it's like, crash into the wall. And as soon as you do, you have to restart back at a checkpoint. And I'm just like, this is annoying.
Yeah, I think that's where I got with it. Though it was just more annoying, like because you can't see what's coming, and I just ended up falling off a cliff and stuff like that. So I didn't really think.
Over and over and over. I didn't make it through one mountain, and I was like, okay, this is a bad sign. And I'm really glad that they gave this demo out for free, because then I took it off my wish list immediately. I was like, see ya.
I think this was on Game Pass for me, so yeah.
I'm loving this guy just keep crashing in that tree in front of
That's what you do. Is even if you don't really want to crash, you think you can make it, and then like you're a little off because the perspective is constantly changing. So you think I'll just cut through this area and then go down this part of the hill, and then boom, you just accidentally touch a rock, and it's restart. And it's a shame because this kind of game could be a lot of fun. You know what I mean? If it were more. I don't know what you would have to do, like make it more on the track or put the camera right behind the person's shoulder or something, you know what I mean? So that you're constantly, you have to see if you go left, right, and around a corner or whatever. But I just think that the setup of it, the way that the camera moves is just, it's really frustrating. And it's not, in Trials, you're constantly wiping out and dying, but you can do it. And in this game, I didn't feel that way at all, ever. It was just
it does feel like, I mean, watching it does feel like you have to memorize every turn in the track.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then when you try again, you have another go and you can remember where to go.
Right. And you do get better, and I mean, it does make reaching a checkpoint more satisfying. So there's that. And when you launch over a jump in the cliff, like that's satisfying. But to have to do the same stretch, like seriously, I did it like 10 times one stretch, and then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not having fun. Fuck this game. Here, wait, I have a sound clip for that. Here we go.
I just want to say, fuck this game. I'm done.
And I am. I'm done talking about it.
Is that it? Are you done?
That's it. That's all for the Lonely Mountains Downhill.
Wow.
Back to you, Stu.
Well, I decided, I was thinking about your rule of going like 10 years or older to try a game out again.
For people that don't know, this is where you haven't played a game for 10 years, and basically if you played after 10 years, you forgot most of the game, and it's like a brand new game again. Go.
Yeah. Well, this game came out in 2008, so this game is 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Game Pass, so I was like, do you know what? I really like that game back in the day. Should play that again. And that game is Fable 2. Because we all liked it. We can generally say all three of us like this game.
I think it's easy to dismiss how popular this game was when it came out. But when this game came out, like it was winning games of the year. Like it was
it was
absolute phenomenon.
It's not aged well.
I imagine not.
No, oh my god. I was like just everything way. Like voice acting, graphics, like animation. It looks old, and I know really it is. It just looks so old, and it plays so old.
Yeah.
It's
this could be a gold mine if they re-up the graphics.
well, they're
They
doing
did a
it, aren't they?
remake.
It keeps on
Okay,
getting
well, fair enough.
cancelled. So they're
Oh, I
making a
see.
new
Alright.
Fable, but it's just never. It's not come to fruition just yet. But
It was IGN's best original score. It was Joystick's best game of 2008. British Academy Video Game Awards best action and adventure game.
tell you, Peter Molyneux, he knew his stuff. You know what I mean?
He knew how to sell a turd.
He
Yeah,
did.
well, I
He
don't think
did.
it's a turd. It's just
It had issues that I remember, and I haven't got far enough to get to these. But I remember the respawning enemies were really annoying.
I remember not liking the walking animation back then.
No, it's terrible. Honestly, when you see it now, it's awful. It's like
Yeah.
clopping. They like clop.
So in the same year of Fable 2,
Go on.
came
What came out? What came out?
GTA 4, which was my favorite game.
Which pisses all over this. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Fallout 3.
Yeah, that's pretty good as well.
Came out. Metal Gear Solid 4, Gears of War 2, Little Big Planet, Dead Space.
God, I
came
can't
out.
believe Little Big Planet is that old.
Little
Oh
Big
my
Planet.
god.
Left 4 Dead came out that year,
Yes.
and Mirror's Edge also came out.
Right.
So
Yeah, Mirror's Edge.
Saints
Some of
Row
those
2,
others you've
Saints
said
Row
now.
2, Devil May Cry 4, Prince of
Oh, Saints Row 2.
Persia, Far Cry 2, Star Wars Force Unleashed. Yeah, a lot of good games.
Yeah.
A lot of
There
better
were-
looking games than this.
They were there. I mean, it's what I remember the most, and obviously, I haven't played enough of it the second time to get to any of this, is the freedom to do what you like. I can't remember who it was, but somebody who played it, they marry, because you can marry people in the game. You can chat to them enough, and then eventually they'll agree to marry you.
Yeah.
And I remember him marrying and then sacrificing them to some deity in the game to progress his
Yeah,
story.
Boethia, man. And it's not Boethia. That's the Skyrim one that you sacrifice people to.
Yeah, maybe it was you, Duke. Maybe you were the person sacrificing people to some deity.
I don't
I don't
remember
know.
I
sacrificing
wouldn't
people.
put it past him.
Not in this
No,
game.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't, to be honest. Oh yeah, I don't know. I can't say I'm gonna go unlike Mass Effect and Max Payne 3. Can't say I'm gonna go back to this after playing sort of 20 minutes of it again for a second time.
No.
It's not passed the test. It's failed miserably.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't grab me by the ghoulies. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, wow, this is
It looks
gun clear.
so old.
It does. Honestly, it is. It is so old.
I know.
It's
I'm glad we've established that. Veteran gamers, the detectives of the video game world.
What
I remember
mean is
what
like it hasn't aged well at
Well,
all.
no,
You know,
we
Well,
got
some
that.
games do.
Yes, that's true.
I just remember Peter Molyneux going, well, in the game, there's going to be a breadcrumb trail that you can follow for the main story quest so you never get lost. But you'll get more out of the game if you stray from the trail. Do you remember that? Do you remember him saying all that shit?
Yeah. I'm gonna get
But-
some footage of Gears of War 2, which came out the same year.
No, it wasn't
Uh,
Gears of War 4. Was it Gears of War 2? I thought it was
Gears-
further along.
No, Gears
Oh,
of War
Gears
2.
of War. I'm thinking of thingy. Sorry, wrong
Gears
game.
of War 2 came
Yeah,
out the
yeah,
same
yeah.
year as Fable 2, and just look at how good Gears of War 2 looks compared to Fable 2. Yeah, it's
Do you know why? There is a
Not bad.
reason why this is the case. Do you know why?
because they're shit.
No, because Peter Molyneux started developing Fable 2 in 1984. That's
apparently,
why.
so.
When he was
He-
working
he
for the
was-
Ministry of Misinformation.
It
War is
did-
peace,
it
ignorance is
did.
strength, freedom is slavery.
He developed it on a Commodore Amiga, apparently. And that's why
oh.
it looks like that. There you
I
go.
doubt that's the reason, but yeah, and I've got Left 4 Dead on the screen now, and that is the same year, and it just looks
Yeah,
infinitely
Looks a
better.
lot better. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
true.
does. Yeah, anyway, people liked
Anyway.
it for some reason. Well, this was a way better game. I had more fun playing this
Is
than
the
anything else.
gameplay still good though?
I've only played it for 20 minutes, half an hour. I was just like, I'm just going to have a look. Just going to have a look back at it. And I've only got as far as trying to get 5 gold pieces to buy the music box or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What?
And that's all I've done. I've only got 2 gold pieces. So
Okay.
I can't see as I'm going to play any more of it, though. I've got better things
Okay.
to play at the moment.
I do remember having a good time with this game, but yeah, I can see it being the type of thing that I wouldn't have a lot of fun going back to. But
Nope. Nope, it's not past the test anyway. Duke, what else have you been playing?
Yes, well, it's funny you should ask that because
I know.
there's a new free game out now called
Oh.
Kart Rider Drift.
What?
Kart Rider Drift. You heard me right, folks. Kart Rider Drift.
So is this like soapbox, like one of these soapbox things with like, you know, like a
No,
what we used to call a go-kart that you made with pram wheels?
no, it's more like I'm trying to imagine a game that would be like this. Imagine if you had like take a franchise that people love. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like I don't know.
What about Nintendo franchise?
Okay, fine. For the sake of argument, let's
Yeah.
go with that.
Oh, now I can see.
guess.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine which one. Like Donkey Kong wouldn't work.
What about like if you just
Zelda
took, like,
wouldn't
like,
work.
What if you took like Mario and like
This game is
some
okay.
of like the other characters from
Yeah.
that? Shit.
Okay, but I mean Mario has like a little bomb with eyes and hands. That wouldn't work in this game.
It's exactly like Stummies.
And the twist is?
It's a much bigger pill.
It's a fucking Mario Kart clone.
I'll be
They
honest, I'm
have-
surprised they've got away with this because you know how
They
strict
have
fucking
Bob.
Nintendo
Well, it's
is.
probably just Nintendo hasn't gotten around to issuing the search and desist yet, or cease and desist.
They don't own the
it's-
kart genre.
But there are differences. So, for instance, in Mario, I've never played Mario Kart much, but I can't really say. But in this game, you have these like little boosts that you get, and you get them by driving through these like crates, and they have like question marks on the side.
You are joking, right?
No, that's exactly how it
No, no, no.
works. But
no,
Shane-
you're
no,
joking
no,
in
no,
the fact
no.
that like you know that's on Mario Kart, right?
yeah, of course, right. Yes, but let's keep playing along with it. Though.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
That actually is right. But hang on, it's not a clone of Mario Kart because
Right.
in those crates, sometimes you get a little boost, sometimes you
Yes.
get a protection of something, and sometimes you get a banana peel that you throw behind you.
That is
and
true.
it
That is
Causes
true.
the other people to slip up. So there's that. Yeah, it's shameless. It's so shameless. And there's
There's a little bit of
areas-
Rocket League in there as well. I feel.
There is. Well, I mean, they've got all the wheels and they've got different
Yeah.
license plates. I don't know why you'd give a shit about your license plate, but I did change mine.
Of course you
know,
did.
You have different emoticons when you win or whatever. Like, it's kind of cute. Like, I was kind of enjoying.
It looks
all the
well made.
customization.
It looks
Yeah,
well
it
made.
is well made, but the gameplay it's a bog standard kart racer.
Mario
Like
Kart,
if I wanted a kart racer, this would be the one I'd go to because it's free.
Yeah.
I won my first race once I finished the tutorial. It was like, all right, now try a race, and I did, and I crushed the enemies. I was like, yes. So that felt pretty good. But then I was like, okay, I should do another one. I'm like, I don't really feel like it. Who cares?
Can you drift
Yeah.
around the corners?
Yes, there is drifting in this game. Actually,
Of course
I don't know
there
if that's
is.
in Mario Kart or not, but I actually don't know. I haven't played enough Mario.
No,
Kart.
that's why I asked because obviously it is in Mario Kart.
Okay, well then yes.
That's how you get
it's also
speed.
cloning that, right?
Yeah.
You don't get speed in this game for that. It's just a matter of, like you race around and then you have and this is I don't know Mario Kart, but it's a laugh because I kept getting into first place and then someone would launch like there's this one boost that you get that's like a UFO goes and like messes you up so that you stop you have to slow down. I can avoid a banana peel if someone drops that, but I can't avoid a UFO hovering over me and fucking me up. So everyone, the first place spot is constantly rotating as people just get lucky with whatever they got. And that's kind of frustrating. I wish it were more focused on skill rather than luck. But on the other hand, maybe I just didn't play it enough to know. But I don't know. It's polished. It's cute. It's obviously designed for kids. I think kids would get a kick out of it.
I think somebody's just obviously gone like, why isn't there a free to play, monetized Mario Kart on everything?
Right. Yeah. So that's what it is. And when I went looking for the Let's Play, there was a bunch on mobile, so you can presumably play this on your phone. And why not? I'm sure it would work pretty well on the phone.
Yeah, I can't see why
Or
it
on a
wouldn't.
tablet. Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
it is
yeah,
blatant.
Yeah, it is. But it's well done, So if you want a free kart racing game, this could be the one for you.
This is the one, Kart Rider Drift.
The one. Kart Rider Drift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back
pretty
to you,
good.
Stu.
Yeah. I've only got one more game to talk about, and this is kind of what's taken up nearly all of my time recently.
Oh, yeah. It's Pokemon.
But Elden Ring, oh my god, this game is so fucking good.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
There's one thing I don't think you would like, though, dude. Oh, maybe you would, because it's old school and analog, and you like shit like that, don't you?
Okay.
And that is, there is no like quest log or journal or anything.
Oh no, that's not good.
So you've got to write it down. If you talk to an incidental
Write it
character
down?
who gives you a
How
side
do I know where to
quest,
go?
well, you just write down what they tell you. You know what I mean? You've got to be ready.
They tell me what? You go to the city and go into the mountain to the left?
There's no cities. There's no real cities in this game. It's just kind
you're
of.
really not selling this.
So it is
So give me an
really
idea.
weird.
Like, okay, there's an old man who has a quest for you. You go to him. You talk to him. What does he say?
Yep. So, for instance, I went to talk to a witch in
Right.
the Three Sisters area of the game, and
Okay.
she's like, I've got this thing you need to do. You've got to go and get this thing. And I can't remember what it was because I didn't write it down.
Right. You
You got to go.
ding-dang.
Got to go and get this thing.
MacGuffin.
Go and speak to my bodyguard. He'll sort you out. So you go and
Right.
speak to the bodyguard, and the bodyguard goes, "Oh yeah, I'm going to meet you at Limgrave, and then we've got to go on the Forest Underground Road. So I'll show you how to get there."
So you have to go find the forest.
But yeah, it
Underground
doesn't
road.
tell you. It doesn't tell you where to meet him in Limgrave, and Limgrave's pretty big area of the game.
For fuck's sake.
But it's like, yeah, just come to Limgrave. I'll be around
So
somewhere.
there's no quest markers or anything. There's just, you
Nope.
just wander around till you
Nope,
find him.
you got to find the people. Then in the same area, I talked to a wizard, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this elixir thing. Can you go and give it to this person to drink?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay then." And I'm guessing it's poison because he seemed a bit sinister. You know what I mean? This guy didn't seem completely straight up.
Right.
So I'm guessing whoever I give it to is probably a bad thing for them.
Probably.
But I'm like, what the heck? I'll just do it. But I've no idea where this person is I've got to give it to. He just gave me a name. Go see this person, give it them.
Yeah.
So no, there's no quest markers in this game. I'm literally the only guidance you get is from the places of grace where you sort of do the like fast travel and stuff.
Okay.
And when you activate one of those, you get like a marker in the air that just points in the general direction you need to go in to do the main story quests.
Well, at least there's that.
Yeah. But I think part of the reason for that is that like pure exploration. This game is literally explore and find stuff.
Right.
And I think that's part of the hook. A lot like Skyrim in that sense is you see a place and you go, I wonder what's there. I mean, it's not all bad like that. I mean, for instance, there are like the map is completely blank when you get it, so you can't see anything on the map.
Right.
And there are these they're like standing stones, and when you activate one, it gives you a piece of the map so you can see the area that you're in and what's actually in it. The map.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. Okay, that's fine. I appreciate that. This dude's running around crushing through clay pots. I don't see him getting anything out of those. Do you get things out of pots?
No,
when you
not
crash?
really. Not out
What's
of
he
pots.
doing then? Is it just the habit of gaming? And it's like
maybe
I'll
he
try
just
it.
likes doing it. No, there's I don't, not that I can remember. Most of the stuff you get is off killing enemies. They drop loot. When you kill them, they'll drop some. Not all the time, but they'll drop some. Sometimes you get something really cool, like a new piece of armor or a new sword or a dagger. Other times you'll just get sort of runes. And then within the game, there are these sort of like special trees that you go to. And if you find one of those, you can pick up, I can't remember what it's called now. It's a golden something. But that allows you to increase the number of health flasks that you can carry.
I think it's called golden herpes.
Yeah, that's it. So they're dotted about the world. But the world itself, again, it's just vast.
Yeah.
Like there are sort of smallish, more compact areas in the game, but then on the flip side, there are these just enormous areas of the game.
Yeah.
And there's all these different dragons that are sort of dotted around, in these vast areas, and they're fucking rock hard. I mean, some fire blue fire at you, some fire normal fire, some do ice. So there's all these mirrors as well. What I found is like there was like a cave system I went through, which was like a mine, and they were all frost demons and stuff. So everything were frosty and everything, all their attacks were frost. And then I went through another mine, and they were all hot, so everything was fire and lava. And each one had a frost boss at the end, and the other one had a fire boss at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just a great gameplay loop. That constant leveling up. When you level up, like when I go back to the original area now, this Limgrave, where I've got to look for this dude.
Yeah.
the enemies there are literally like one-hit kills now for me because I've just leveled up so much. And I had my one of the toughest boss fights I've done so far was against an Erden, like there's a mini Erden tree, it's called. And the big Erden tree is the main quest where you're headed to, you know, this giant glowing tree in the distance.
Right.
But there's a mini version of one of them, and it had this Erden tree guardian, and fuck me, he was rock. And it took me quite a few goes to beat him. But I'm doing all right. I've got some good ashes, like they call them ashes, and they're basically like it's a bit like summoning in Skyrim. You can summon these creatures or whatever they are, or people, or they're less like ghosts, but they can fight bosses on your behalf. You know what I mean? They're good for they don't inflict a lot of damage, but they're good for distraction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you want to distract a boss while you take it on, they sort of sometimes focus their attention on that boss. The one you can see on screen at the moment, I've actually got I killed this boss, and he is fucking hard. And I've got his whole burn, but I haven't got enough strength to carry it, to like wield it as a weapon, because it's just so heavy.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to wield that. It's too big.
But yeah, he's hard. You know, he takes a bit of killing. But
and you got the easy mod on, but he's still hard.
No. By the time I went back to fight him, I'd sort of leveled up quite a bit, so he wasn't that difficult.
I got you. See, and I look, I haven't played this yet, but I'm curious. You know, you're not the only person who told me I'd like it. I do like the fact that, you know, it's the type of thing, and I said this about Gadonia, like, it is nice to feel OP. Like, you put in the work to get, you know, to fight a lot of monsters. You want to level up. You want to be more of a badass when you go back to certain areas. And I think that, you know, as much as I love
this game
Skyrim,
does that. This game does that really
right?
well.
And that's what I'm saying, is that this is a good thing. I think as much as I love Skyrim, I think they messed up by making it the type of thing where they're constantly leveling up the monsters as you go, because
there's none of that in this.
It's nice to have that sense of like, I am a badass, and then, you know, you find another monster that's tough, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not as
I
much
think
of a
what's
badass
also really cool about this game is when you do kill a boss, that's it, they're gone for good. You know, incidental characters will reappear in the game, you know, like the soldiers and stuff like that, but the bosses, once you've killed one, it's gone.
Well,
you know, it doesn't reappear, it doesn't respawn. I think if you've got the patience and time, if you played the vanilla game, there are enemies within the first area, you know, but you have to spend hours and hours grinding, killing all these enemies over and over again, you know, the little ones that you can take on, to then kill the slightly bigger ones, then you can level up a bit, then you can level up again. You know what I mean? And it is that constant. I can see how it would be fun to do that eventually, but it would just take hours upon hours upon hours.
I mean, that's the thing, is that people love the sense of satisfaction that they get from defeating these bosses. Let me ask you this too. Dude, you know, I can see this person's health is slowly being destroyed. Do you have health potions? Can you?
Yes, that's the flask.
In the middle of the fight?
Yeah. But what you've got to understand is,
rare?
though, there's an animation loop for
you have to get away, drink it, and wait.
You've got to get far, because these enemies, some of them are so fast with their attacks.
Right.
You sometimes just don't have time to take a health
just
potion.
Do one. I got you. Okay, that's
so you've got to make sure you're out of the way. You know, you've got enough time before he attacks again to take your health potion.
See that, right? And that's the thing, is that, like, I appreciate that, but when I'm in the middle of it, I'm often like, I just want to spam it and have my health.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Up,
this game, even with the easy mode turned on, you still have to use a little bit of skill. You've got to roll at the right time. You've still got to get the right time in. You've still got to get out of the way of attacks, because you know, even with that enabled, these things can kill you pretty quick.
Sure.
So they will make mincemeat out of you. But
I am curious.
I genuinely think you would like it.
Look, right. I don't want to pay too much for this game, because I have a lot of confidence that I'll try it. I'll give it a good old college try. I'll enjoy a lot of things about it, and then reach a point where I'm just like, it's too hard. I don't want that kind of punishment.
But you're not going to get that
if you put teaching.
If you put the easy mode on, you won't get any of that.
You just said that it's still difficult even with the easy mode on.
It's not. Yeah, but look at me, right?
Wow. I'm not so much better at games than you.
You'll be amazed how fast you level up, though.
Well, that's
once you enable the easy mod, and stuff will get easier.
I can just see myself being like, we need an easy mod for the easy mod.
No, you won't. Honestly, you won't. What tends to happen is you'll kill some stuff and find that quite easy with the easy mod turned on, and then every now and again something will be a bit more of a challenge, but it's still not crazy. You know what I mean?
Stu is in sales mode. He's totally in like, you got to play it, Duke. You're gonna. Love
I would love to know your opinion on playing.
And then he sells the game, and then he moves on to something else.
You know what we should do, Duke? You know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should set up family sharing with my Steam account because I've got it on Steam.
I don't want to scam on that. I'll play it at some point. It'll go down to $20. When it gets to 20 or less, I'll get it.
You might be waiting a long time for that to happen.
That's okay.
And that's the trouble with a Game of the Year game, isn't it? Really, let's be honest.
Yes, it is. Yes.
But it's
all right.
very, very
anything else
good.
to say about Elden Rings?
I'm going to finish it soon because I have got to the final area.
Ooh,
so I'm at the sort of end game. Really.
How many hours are you in?
Not as many as you need to get to where I am. I'm probably I would guess around 20 to 30 hours, 25 to 30 hours in. So I've played a lot. I mean, because you've got to do a lot of exploring, but I've got a lot of other bosses to fight yet before I think I'm going to try and take on the final boss.
Could be another 10, 15 hours.
Yeah, easily. There's just so much to find and so much to do in this game. It's just, but I am loving the like, just to, like, for instance, right, just to give you an example of how cool this game is. I went to a tower and I fought all the way up this tower, and this fucking wizard thing was pissing me off because he kept on, like, teleporting away from me, so I couldn't fight him, and then he just kept spawning all these creatures to fight me. And it was really annoying. And then I killed him, and I killed all these creatures, and I did all the stuff I thought I needed to get to the top of the tower because I'm really interested in what's at the other end. Yeah. And I got to this bit, and there's a spiral staircase. Right, and I'm like, but it was floating in midair, so there was no way to get to it.
That's weird.
So I was like, what the fuck? So I didn't want to look at. So Millie's boyfriend, right, has played hundreds of hours of this game. He loves it.
Nerd.
So I said to him, "Have you got a minute?" And he's like, "Yeah, what?" And I'm like, "How the fuck do I get to up that spiral staircase?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that yet." Right, and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, you've got to go and fight these other two bosses, and once you've done that, you'll get this weird thing, and you have to put it on the altar at the bottom of the tower, and it flips the tower upside down, so that you can get up to the top of it." I'm like, "That's so fucking cool, though." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like.
But how did he figure that out? Just Google it.
I don't know whether he Googled it or whether he just figured it out. I don't know. I mean,
I reckon he Googled it.
But
how did the person who posted it online figure it out?
Someone had to figure it out. Someone had to figure it out.
Exactly.
But that's what I mean. There are so
game like
many.
This comes out, people are just spamming invisible walls, trying to.
Yeah, but that's how these sorts of.
I know, but it's kind of ridiculous that a game relies on that kind of thing, isn't it?
But that's the world we live in now. They know that will happen.
Yeah, because they do. They'll go in that tower and see that there's an altar where you have to put something and go, right, I need to find whatever goes there.
I know what you're saying, Duke, but the people that make these games know that they have this legacy now, so they know that people will dig it out.
I know. And that's a meta thing now for them and the hardcore dorks who do that stuff. And
to be fair,
I have kind of respect for them.
It doesn't affect the main story of the game. It's kind of just a bit of an Easter egg, I guess.
Well, yeah, except that when you want to figure it out for yourself, maybe, like, good fucking luck. Like, I'm a fan of games where everything you need to figure out in the game is self-contained. That ship sailed on MMOs 10 years ago. Like, there's no way you're doing anything in Guild Wars 2 without looking up a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And I can't be too salty about it. That's just the way it is, but...
This game isn't that complex. Can I just say it's not that complex? But
with the amount of games that are out now, if there's anything that the game requires me to do that doesn't explicitly tell me to do, I will miss it. Like in God of War Ragnarok, those frozen trolls, I would have never spotted those. I walked past them all, and then Chris said, "Oh, have you done the frozen trolls?" I was like, "I didn't even notice them. them." And then when you get the thing that you've got to get to unlock them, Mimir's like, "Oh, that's the thing that we talked about." I'm like, I don't even remember them talking about it. Like
Right.
I will only do it if I know it's there to do. So
Right.
Elden Ring is like it goes
Yeah.
against the grain. It goes against all that, and it's like, no, figure it out. Fuck you. And I
No,
think
you've got to
people-
figure everything out.
People
in this
enjoy
game, and that's
that
what's-
sort of mystery.
Yeah, that's what's
And
kind of cool
to,
about
to a
it.
point. I will like appreciate that. I just I don't know.
There's even, I mean, even just simple things that this game does really well. Like whenever you go through a big area to it, most of the paths to bosses are kind of almost like a corridor. Do you know what I mean? There's these
Yeah.
big open areas, but when you're coming up to a boss, you know, because it's more structured. If that makes any sort of
Like a
sense.
normal
Yeah,
level.
that's fine.
Yeah, like a normal level of game. But what's kind of cool at the end of it, there's always a shortcut. Sometimes they're hidden though. I mean, for
Oh,
instance,
well,
I did one.
it's a dungeon, isn't it? Skyrim does that.
Yeah.
It's a short
Yeah,
zone.
And I got to the end of one, and I was really high up, and I'm like, oh god, I don't want to have to trek all the
You
way
were
down
really
all those,
high, dude. with
all
the
those
wacky
steps.
tobacky.
Oh, can't be
Yeah.
bothered walking down all those steps, and I'll have to because of
That's why you go into ethereal mode. You just jump off. Oh wait, this isn't Skyrim, is it?
But because I'd rested at a site of grace as well to level up, every enemy that I'd fought on the way up would respawn. So I'd then have to refight every single enemy on the way back down. I'm like,
Again,
"Ah."
if you're trying to sell this game to me,
No, listen. Let me get to the point.
just let
There's
him
a
get
zip
to
line.
it.
There's a fucking
No,
zip
there
line.
isn't, and it's
Okay.
still pretty treacherous.
There's a
But
spoonful
at the
of
top,
water
there
you
was
dive
a
into.
tiny break in the wall, and when you looked over, there was a wooden platform underneath,
Ah.
and you kind of had to just drop down on all these different. And along the way, there were a few biggish enemies to fight to get to the back to the bottom again, but you didn't have to then go through all the stuff you'd done to get up to the top. But sometimes they're hidden paths, and you've just got to explore a bit and look for them. And again, I think that's what makes this game. It's so well crafted. Everything has been thought about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
I hear you.
It's honestly, I can understand why it got so many Game of the Year awards. I
Oh,
really,
yeah.
Okay.
I really can, and I just really would love both of you to play this
I'm
and
sure
just see how you get
would.
on. I would. I'd love to know your opinions on it because it's just so good. It really
Okay,
is.
Well, like I said, at some point I might play it. Anything else to say about it?
No, just play it.
Okay,
Oh.
great. Moving on. So there's another free game that came out, free demo type, Prologue. A lot of game developers are doing this. They'll put out part of the game, the first part of the game, as a prologue, and then you can play the whole thing later on. And this one's called Handyman Corporation.
Oh yeah.
So, there's a bunch of games kind of like this, House Flipper, and of course we talked about Power Wash Simulator.
Power
This
Wash
is,
Simulator.
Oh,
this is more
give
of
it
a
up.
all kinds of things, fixing things here, fixing things there, repairing devices, painting stuff. The first thing you notice when you start the game up is that your wife is sitting on the bed looking at you.
Okay.
Okay.
Why is your wife just sitting on the bed staring at you? Why is your wife in the game at all? Like and she's not just a static thing. She's sitting there like kind of bouncing her foot back and forth, like, blinking. And when they were making this game, they said, okay, the first thing we got to do is like program the guy's wife or the gal's. I suppose it could be, two women living together. And you click on her and she says, it looks like your customers are as happy with you as I am.
Oh right.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a sort of sexy thing.
I don't know
What?
exactly what it is.
That's
Because she's dressed.
suspicious.
She's dressed in a
so
kind of like
weird.
lingerie.
Wait, is she in a negligee?
Well, she's wearing a skirt. I wouldn't call it lingerie, but anyway, it's just bizarre. Why have that in the game? One of the discussion threads on Steam is like, "Where is the sex with the wife? Come on!"
Yeah.
And it's just
That is
it's a
funny.
fair question given how bizarre it is to have that in the game.
It's
but-
like there used to be in the UK. By the way, can we say hello to Danny, Lord of the Legs, because he's
Hi,
asking
Lord
is
of
it
the
live
Legs.
or pre-recorded? We're live, Danny. So hi, Danny.
Yeah, what's up? We're
presumably he's
live.
not meaning, but, yeah,
I like his first
Yeah.
comment where he goes.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
His first comment is, "What is this?"
What
Yeah,
is
well, I
Well,
can
you know
understand
what,
why
to
you
be
would
fair,
think that.
everybody in the chat room is thinking that. So
What is?
He's probably.
You're not
Is he
alone.
still
What
there?
is-
Is he? Or is he?
Is he
gone
just
to
looking
the
at
end?
his
ask us
like
that all
phone
the
or
time.
laptop, just going, "What? What am I
What is the
watching?"
Fuck
Like,
is this?
How did I
What
get
is
to this?
happening?
I'm gonna unfriend that person
And
who
then
sent
he-
me this link.
then he throws his phone in the river and he
Yeah, he
changes
does.
his life.
stamps on his.
And
live or
he
pre-recorded?
and he
Is
and he
this
gets a good
Memorex?
job, and he starts working out, and he eats healthy.
And it's
he
all
just,
thanks to us.
Yeah, and
It
he's
is.
just like, fuck
It
hell,
is.
this is
Forgot
shit.
about us unchumpatizing himself.
Danny Lord
Anyway,
of the Legs.
right. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, thanks,
Handyman
Danny.
Corporation. So you go to fix the refrigerator or whatever. So you go to this apartment. And I need some stuff done in my apartment. Okay, so I'm like, great, and you got to buy the stuff to fix the refrigerator. Okay, fine. And it's clearly a European developer because the refrigerator is underneath the kitchen countertop. It's like that would never be a thing in America.
No,
our refrigerators are enormous.
Because you're fat.
Yeah,
You're all
exactly.
fat.
How are we going to
Yeah.
put all the food
Yeah.
to keep us fat?
Everybody in America is fat.
Yeah, they
Right.
are. double
Anyway,
chairs.
there's nothing necessarily wrong with being fat. The point is we
Quadruple
overdo everything.
fridge.
Yeah.
Right. So
2 seats on an airplane.
when you go into the apartment, it says, okay, the clock is ticking. If you can do all the work in under the time, the usual time, you'll get a bonus. But if you take
Right.
too long, you'll lose a little money. Why do we need a timer on
This
fixing
is
stuff?
is
What are you
where
talking
Power Wash
about?
Simulator comes in because
There
they
it is,
don't put
that's
a
where it
timer
holds
on
it down.
anything.
Well, exactly.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and other simulator games don't have timers. Like we don't need a timer. Anyway, so I buy a screwdriver, I buy a screw because those are the two things I need
Jesus,
to fix this
'cause
fridge
as a
apparently.
handyman, right?
One screw.
I imagine that you would have some of those things already.
Yeah, you would think
as
so,
a
but
matter
nope.
of course.
Do you
No,
go around to the
uh-uh.
job and go, right? This drill needs. I'm gonna have to go out and
You have a
get a
drill? I'll be back tomorrow
screwdriver.
after I go
One
buy a
screw.
drill.
Fuck it, hell.
That's ridiculous. And then there's a little mini game, and when the tutorial came out, it was like, click here to watch the video for this mini game, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. And then I go to fix the fridge, and then it goes, okay, so mini game start. And then I clicked something, and then it was like, you failed. The refrigerator is now broken. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Forever.
The refrigerator's now just right. It can't be repaired now.
Excellent.
Because I clicked one thing wrong in the minigame. I'm like, I don't even know what the minigame was. It couldn't have been too intuitive.
That's
And
just
so
like real
I was-
life, though. You know, I went to fix something and I pressed something and it blew up. And
I just want to
Yeah, it
say,
does happen.
fuck this game. I'm done.
I uninstalled it after that. And I went to leave a note on the discussion board for the developer. And I found a post that was written in December of last year, like a month ago. And it says exactly what I was going to say. Like, why do we need a timer? The tutorial said I don't have to purchase anything beforehand. It was ridiculous. I started to repair the fridge. I failed the first attempt. Again, there's a timer, which this time is not even logical. Did I mention I dislike timers? I pressed Alt-4 and deleted the demo. I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I was going to write.
I think
so I gave him a
the
little
rule
Steam
is
award.
the rule is like if you're making a game that's sort of mundane, right, and its purpose is that it's kind of mundane but satisfying, don't make that mundane task more stressful or more gamified. Just make it what it is, mundane but satisfying. Don't make me just rush it. Just
Well, that's the thing, right? I think sometimes they think like we have to make it a little more challenging. We have to make it a little more
No.
interesting by adding this, by
No.
adding that. No, you don't. You really don't. And the best games in this genre don't do that
They
stuff.
don't rush
They
you.
just- They give us what we want.
You just want to
by
fix
the way,
something.
I just realized. Yeah, exactly. Chinny, I realized once upon a time I was streaming Dinkum, and I put a description that says a wander around the Down Under Village game with Duke, and it still says that on the Veteran Gamers. So it's possible that Danny Three Legs came in and was like, What is this? A wander around the Down Under Village? Maybe he was searching Down Under video games and he came up with this because of my description.
What's that on the
Anyway.
Twitch? Is that on Twitch?
No, it's on the YouTube.
I'll fix it later.
At some point, just fix. Anyway, so the point is, here's the thing: when I got done with this, I was like, bloody hell! Now I'm in the mood to fix things, but I can't do it with handyman craparation. See what I did there? Playing with words.
Yeah, that's what you did.
Yeah. But I remembered that Electrician Simulator is on sale, so I got that for a
God.
tenner, and we
Well, you
played
paid
this. You remember this?
$10.
Yeah, for
Wow.
Electrician Simulator. I know that Chinny played this. Did you play this, Stu, once upon a time?
Don't remember doing. I
There
remember
was
you
again,
playing
a
something where you had to
prologue for
wire
this.
plugs and stuff.
Yeah, totally. And I got it, and I'm like, yeah, this is scratching the itch, baby. You played Assemble with Care, Stu. You like that game.
I've played Assemble with Care. I really like that game.
So
it
this
was
is
a lot
kind
of
of
fun.
like that. You're at one point you're fixing a video game, controller or whatever. And by the way, there's negative reviews of Electrician Simulator that are like, electricians don't fix video game controllers. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like, wow, dude, you're really taking this too seriously.
Could do. Just saying.
I'm sure some do, and that's what the devs said. They were like, actually, in Poland, they do fix video game controllers. So watch your assumptions there, buddy. But anyway, yeah, it's like, this is such a good game. It's, pretty simple, but you are, rewiring houses at certain points, and other times you're fixing light switches and putting in light bulbs. It's funny because, obviously nobody would hire an electrician to replace a light bulb, right? So they make a joke out of it, and they're like, in one of the earliest emails, it's like a tutorial thing, and it says, in this first mission, you're going to replace light bulbs. People really don't like doing that around here. So it's ridiculous, but they build in the joke to the game, so I like that. Yeah, Electrician Simulator. It's well made. It's technically satisfying, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Have you ever thought about playing I always eye up the PC building simulator.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I mean,
I do
one of these
eye it
days
up.
it'll be free on Epic, and I'll just probably get it there. I can't imagine paying money for that though. I don't know why. It just feels.
It gets a lot of good reviews. It does.
I'm sure, and I mean, that one I think has some carry. I'm not going to learn how to be an electrician with this game, right? But I think that PC Builder, if you've never done it before, I mean, the best way to learn how to do it is by doing it. So the fact that I've done it means that I'm much more confident now. But if you haven't done it before and you want to kind of learn the basic steps, that would actually teach you how to build a PC, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it would. Sure it would.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
That's what you've been playing. And that's it. I think that's everything we've been playing this
that's
week.
all our games that we've been playing.
That's all our games. So I guess
it's time for some news.
Some news.
Putting news first. Yeah, all right. Weird for the sake of weird.
Weird for the sake of weird. First news, the news this week, it says. Yes, this is just the most ridiculous piece of news in my opinion.
Okay, go on.
Peripheral maker Nixie, I don't know what I pronounce it, Nixie, has released this is how they're advertising this, right? A driftless GameCube controller for Switch. So they've released a controller for the Switch where they guarantee it won't suffer from Joy-Con drift. They're like
not ever? They can promise it'll never?
Apparently, they said it won't suffer from Joy-Con drift.
I feel a lawsuit coming on.
Because let's be honest.
When has Nintendo ever sued anybody?
There's barely a Nintendo controller that doesn't have Joy-Con drift issues. So much so that they've now, and I don't know whether you were aware, I'm sure you are, but there's software built into it now so you can adjust the drift on the Joy-Cons. So it can calibrate them if they're going out of whack. I don't know whether you knew this was a thing, Ginny.
No, I don't know. No.
Yeah, so that's and that's been on there for a long time.
They've found a fault and they fixed it with better hardware and updates.
Software, but the hardware's still the problem.
I imagine they've improved it somewhat, though.
Yeah, maybe the newer models, but apparently they've all got the same issue. So who knows? But
but analog stick drift has been a problem with controllers for many years.
Oh God, yeah. No, I
it's
get
not
that.
Exclusive to my 360 controller. Always used to drift, and that when it starts to drift, that was my signal to be like, all right, I think it's time to buy a new one. Get a fresh one.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want one that'll never drift, according to Nixie, that's what you need to get. Nixie,
it's marketing, isn't it? It's just marketing.
Yeah. By the way, people, this one will work forever. Now then, Chinny, you mentioned, I don't know whether it was you, I think it was you, mentioned last week that by keeping your PS5 console in vertical mode would damage the console. Was it you who said this last week?
Mine's still in vertical mode, by the way. I haven't done anything.
Well, apparently reports began saying that PS5 owners who had the console were at risk of damaging the device. The claim was made by a hardware repair shop owner who has since updated his article describing the liquid metal used to cool the APU as being the culprit, as the shop had encountered cases where the substance had spilled out of its container and begun spreading around the PS5 motherboard. In an update on Twitter, it said, while this problem can occur, there is no evidence that it will happen to PS5 consoles that are fresh out of the box and haven't been opened. If your PS5 has been operating normally since you acquired it and it hasn't had its shell cracked open for a fix, then there's no danger in leaving it in the vertical position. If you've had the space to do so, if you have had it fixed recently, you might want to exercise some caution on how you position it. So it was nothing to do with the console itself. It's just if the console broke for some reason and it was repaired, it tampered with, it added a risk. So yeah, this dude just caused a load of bullshit by talking a load of bullshit, basically.
Well, there you go. That's why I don't do anything about anything ever.
Don't read anything on the internet because most of it's crap. Okay, Starfield, you know, this little game coming from Bethesda.
Yeah, now we're talking Bethesda, baby.
It's getting its own Xbox showcase to dedicate the proper amount of time to it.
Yeah.
So Microsoft is concerned that while Bethesda Starfield won't appear during the January 25th Developer Direct event, the game has, of course, not been forgotten. In a blog post, Microsoft said it didn't want to shoehorn this big, ambitious game into the January 25th event, so it's decided to create an entire event just for this game alone.
I think Microsoft are in dire need for a really good exclusive game.
They are.
This shows to me that it's two things. It's either like they just want to hedge their bets and be like, right, we just need people to buy into this game, or it could be a sign of that actually this game is really, really good. They're very confident it's going to do well, and they want to show it off. But Microsoft need exclusive games again because Sony are pissing all over them in terms of exclusive quality games. You know, like Spider-Man and The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
So on. But Sony are winning. Sorry, Microsoft are winning because they've got Game Pass, but they still need those big hitters. That's the door, isn't it? That's the bait that gets you in.
Yeah.
So they need those, and they have a lot of good indie games, and they have a lot of good little games that you can play, and some good old games on the Game Pass. But they need those big hitters. And that what was that? What was that game with the Rick and Morty game with the gun that talks to you recently?
Oh, High on Life.
Apparently, that was like the most played game on Game Pass for the month.
I'm not surprised.
Like it did really well. So they need these big hitters. Do you know what I mean? They need these exclusives to stand out. And I think doing a showcase shows that this is probably going to be a good game because they wouldn't dedicate a whole showcase to it. So they've obviously played it, tried it, and gone, you know what? I think we might have another Fallout 3. I think we might have another Skyrim on our hands. Let's fucking absolutely blitz this off so we can associate this brand with Microsoft. So this shows good signs to me. This shows that this actually might be I've been a little bit worried about Starfield when I first saw it. I sort of had no massive desire to get excited about it. It was a bit grey. It was a bit grey. It's a bit very Fallout, very No Man's Sky. I was like, I've sort of seen this before. Is this anything new? So, you know what? I might give this a watch and say, all right, Microsoft, you've got your chance. Like, show me what you got. But yeah, this shows me that there might be a bit of confidence and a bit of gusto to what they're saying about this game.
Next bit of news tonight: the Callisto Protocol launch has tanked publishers' stock after bad reviews.
I think that's a bit unfair on Callisto Protocol. I think the reviews were like average to good. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think it was the Dead Space and the big wave that they were expecting it to be, but I think basically the game is okay. You know, it's not blowing people away. No one's going to be remaking this game in 13 years' time like they are Dead Space, but it's not bad. I think that's a bit harsh on the game, but like money talks, doesn't it? So that's probably what they're referring to.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's not done very well for the shareholders, and
well,
that's
no,
what
they
this
don't
is
care
all
about how the game plays. It's just about what sells. But
yeah. But this is it. I didn't even know this was the thing. Krafton's new Callisto Protocol, which was released last month, at a cost of about 200 billion yen. I'm guessing that is.
Yeah,
Don't know.
yeah. No,
it's about. I think it was about 130 million pounds or $200 million or something like that. It cost to make. And apparently, due to its performance, it basically tanked the shares of the company for investors.
Well, that might say to me that like, you know, if they're relying on this one game to bring it all back for them, that's probably bad business practice rather than.
Well, they wanted basically 5 million units sold is what they expected, and it sold about 2 million.
I just don't think it was marketed very well. I didn't really see it anywhere.
I think there was that. I think the biggest issue they had was it was just really buggy on the PC, wasn't it? It had loads of
issues. But, you know, like, games have come out that are buggy, and they say, well, like, Cyberpunk 2020, whatever, it sold phenomenally well because it was marketed really well. I just don't remember seeing it anyway. I didn't see any billboards or anything. Elden Ring was everywhere when it came out in terms of advertising. Well, I was in New York when Elden Ring came out, and it was on Times Square. You know, like it was absolutely everywhere. You got to put the money in. You know that they sort of half joke, don't they? But you spend the same amount of money on marketing as you do of making the fucking game because it's that important, especially these days.
Yeah.
So there you go. So they're not happy.
So I don't think they put enough money into the marketing.
Bit of not so good news here. Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland faces felony domestic violence charges.
Not good.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's been charged with felony
domestic.
Until
proven guilty, but
in Orange County, California, connects. It's from 2020, by the way, so it's 3 years ago.
Yeah, but he's facing trial now.
What did he do? Apparently, what did he do?
Let me have a look. I'm just looking now. The charges include one felony count of domestic battery with corporal injury. I don't know what that means. One felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, and/or deceit. The trial date has not been set yet, so I'm guessing it was his either wife
he pleaded
or
not
partner.
Guilty to both charges. There was a restraining order. Basically, it made him relinquish ownership of any firearms he owned or possessed. That order lasts until October 2023. He's scheduled to appear in court Thursday for a pretrial hearing.
So you have to assume he's either wife stroke partner, whoever, or husband stroke partner. He had them at gunpoint, I'm guessing, at some point.
I mean, right, yeah, I don't know. It's just... And you know, again, like, innocent until proven guilty. I hate the idea of rushing to judgment on this, but on the other hand, we know that this is a very widespread problem, and it's upsetting. Definitely
it is. John Carpenter has suggested that a Dead Space movie is in development.
Why?
I could see that.
Oh, they've done books, haven't they, and all sorts of stuff connected to it.
It's like, I mean, I remember Dead Space coming out, and it was all based on Event Horizon, you know. And
well, I mean, that's
basically they took
no shortage of space horror game.
Resident Evil 4 and Event Horizon and made a video game, and now they're like, well, let's make that. And the current trend of like making video games into TV shows or movies isn't the death sentence it used to be. So they're probably Hollywood likes trends, and it's probably like just ticking off.
There's a bubble now for those.
Yeah. You know, there's just ticking off. Okay, what are these big games? What are these big video games? And you know, Dead Space is next on the list.
Yeah, I think it's quite cool. But John Carpenter's a massive video game player. He said he played all the Dead Space games, and he basically went to him and said, "I'd really love to make he said Resident Evil then because he said a Dead Space film." He said he wanted to do it.
Why not? I mean, he can make a movie, can't he?
But he said, I think they've already got another director involved and they haven't asked me to do it. So until someone asked me, I wouldn't do it. So they've never mentioned the film, but, you know, he's hinting that from his insider's knowledge that there may be one in the works, which would make sense because of the new remake and all that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool if it was done well. But,
well, yeah. I don't have a lot of faith that it would be, but you know.
That was going to say, but you know how these things work.
Well, and that's the other thing is that, like, would there be a value to it beyond your average slasher horror space monster movie? Like, is there something from the game that you'd really want to see done other than?
I think they would. For me, I think I'd like to see them focus more on the brainwashing religious aspect of the game, which I think is kind of interesting.
I can see that being interesting.
That's a bit different.
Yeah. because that's
It is.
like I've read that. Do you remember when we got sent a book? We got someone
Yeah,
had written.
we used to get
that,
sent
read
books.
I know we used to get sent all sorts of stuff, but I read that on the way to New York, and it was
Dildos.
good. It was really, really well written.
Big head
And-
like this bookie work.
And it was basically about this guy slowly going mad, by being influenced by the markers,
Yeah.
and how everyone was completely fanatical.
Yeah.
So I think there are aspects of the lore within Dead Space which would make it stand out from a generic sci-fi horror film, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. And that's kind of it for news this week. There isn't a lot.
Actually, I have a couple of news stories I'd like to get to real quick.
Cool.
Yeah. PS5, this is from Kotaku. PS5 owners are worried about standing the console vertically. They shouldn't be.
We've just
While
read
the
that.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
missed
just
that.
being
My bad.
I'm glad you were paying attention.
Yeah, we did.
I was what?
I honestly thought
next-
you were like
the-
joking when you were reading that.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
did.
my bad. The next Assassin's Creed game is smaller because past games got way too big. Did you cover this as well?
No.
Okay, my bad. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to be spacing out. I was multitasking. I shouldn't have been.
We will forgive you.
Okay. Well, you will. I don't know if Stu will.
Never.
Ubisoft says
Maybe.
fans were getting tired of the massive RPGs and wanted something smaller.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be the first to say that modern Assassin's Creed games have been a lot of fun. I'll also admit recent entries like Odyssey and Valhalla have become far too big and bloated.
And everybody plays
in an
Elden
interview-
Ring, and
Yeah, they do.
so.
In an interview with
Can I
Games
just say,
Radar,
whoa,
Assassin's Creed-
whoa. Elden Ring is not bloated at all.
All right.
It's
all
about
right.
as
You've
lean
talked
as a
about
game.
Elden Ring for
I have to
48
wander
minutes on this.
around-
No,
yeah,
Stu,
I have to
you've
wander
talked.
around this area.
You've
and-
talked about Elden Ring
No, but
far too long.
It's
but he has to
totally
make a point
different.
about
Stop
this,
it.
though.
Totally
Stop
different
it.
to an
You've,
Assassin's
you've
Creed
talked
game.
about it too much.
You made a
Banned.
bad
In an interview with
comparison.
Games Radar,
Bad
Assassin's Creed.
comparison. Just saying.
Let
Carry
me
on.
talk. I am talking. Will you let me talk? Can I talk for once?
Carry
In
on,
an
dude.
interview with Games Radar, Assassin's Creed Mirage's creative director Stéphane Boudon explained that while Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla were all, quote, great games that let players live an epic journey, it was clear that those players were longing for something different and smaller. Amongst our fans, we started hearing a desire for a character-driven story focused on the core pillars of the first ACs in a more intimate scale, explained Bourdon. It resonates with us well as developers, and this was the starting point of the project. So look for that when Mirage comes out. Where is Mirage set? Do we know?
I don't know.
Sometime this year, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series
I don't think we
X
know
slash
anything
S
about it.
and PC.
Don't think we know anything.
We know it's coming out this year.
Sounds
And
about it.
finally, there was an interesting article on Polygon. I haven't heard of this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's DMZ mode is almost too good to be free. Have you played this, Jenny?
No, I haven't played any Call of Duty.
The subheadline says it's the most interesting thing that Infinity Ward has done in years. Saying a lot.
Wow.
So it's very much in beta. The enemies seem like they've had a brain transplant every 4 or 5 days, and the dang thing crashes hard every few days, taking all my hard-won loot with it. But for me, at least, DMZ is delivering white-knuckled thrills on the regular. So apparently, it's like player versus environment. Kind of
Okay.
like Escape from Tarkov,
Yes.
but not as
okay.
technical or headachy. A session-based multiplayer survival game is player versus enemy, AI playground with a fixed set of really obscure objectives. Visit this realistic landscape filled with enemy soldiers. Look out for the highly skilled players lurking in the shadows. Open this one weird door to advance your own personal quest lines and make your way to the exit as discreetly as possible. It sounds interesting. It makes me want to maybe install it. I don't know. I wish I can't imagine I have Modern Warfare 1 installed. Would I have to install something else for the new Warzone?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah.
So annoying. But on the other hand, if it's free, I mean, I don't know. I'm
It's
curious.
free.
If anybody out there has
FRE
played it, let us know what you
free.
think. Should I give it a shot? Is it worth the download
Give it a
time?
shot. Go on, do it.
I mean, it can't hurt, right?
No,
Maybe
can't hurt. I
maybe
think
that
you
should
do it.
be our play your game bit.
Oh god, it'll be enormous.
Oh,
Imagine, I wonder
man,
if it's
Stu,
in
would
cloud.
be Horrible.
I'll have to install it. Ugh.
That
Yeah.
was
Okay.
that's what I said about Death Stranding, and you all moaned.
You did. It is true. It is true.
So
Well, I don't like these types of games,
You-
but I'll do
I
it.
don't like Death
I'll
Stranding.
do it. All right. How do you
Well,
know
then
you've not
didn't
played
play
it?
So it all works.
Yeah, you never played it.
I've watched it for more than 3 minutes. It looks fucking stupid.
Well, then why didn't you pretend that you had played it?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
should have. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
played it and I just watched it because it's fucking stupid. And Norman Reedus is about as
Right.
much charisma as the fucking cardboard box.
He has
I
got a
gotcha.
bit more charisma than that. Only
He's just
slightly.
moody.
Though.
He's just
Only
moody, isn't he?
slightly.
He's just like
Yeah, he is. He just plays the same character in everything he does. Yeah, he does. He's in the new one as well. I think he's going to be in the second one as well, possibly.
Sure. I forgot there was a second one.
Yeah, it's coming.
Made me slightly
Get
sad.
excited, people. It's on its way. Who knew?
Second one.
Okay,
So I
we have
recently came
got.
across a.
Hold
Hang
on.
on a second. I just got to share this. I came across a thread on Reddit that said, "I'm looking for a game that's low focus and chill." And someone wrote, "Unpacking is zen." Yeah, and genuinely my wife's favorite game, which is funny because she's a fucking mess in real life.
That is funny.
Alright.
By the
What's
way,
next?
I did miss one slight bit of news. Can I just say?
Ooh, bonus news.
Ubisoft has cancelled 3 unannounced games
Yeah, I saw that.
and delayed Skull and Bones again.
Ah, jeez.
This game is never,
Never
ever,
coming out.
ever
Forever.
coming
Yeah,
out.
Came out.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Mm.
I have no. I have nothing to say anymore.
Well,
Apparently,
let's
it's
move
because
on. What's next?
because the financial results were so disappointing. They haven't got enough money to make them anymore. Whatever it is they're making, who knows?
Nothing to say. Here's another paragraph.
No, I know.
Yes,
Sorry.
okay.
We've
do-
got an
okay.
email.
I was gonna say something.
Oh, go on.
Say it.
No,
Like
go for it. Go for it.
So there's actually like a record for longest game development. There's actually like a
Ah.
record.
Well, it used
for
to be Duke Nukem Forever, didn't
So
it?
Duke
Originally.
Nukem Forever held the record. However,
Yeah.
do you know what
Ah.
holds the record now?
I do. Oh my
No,
god,
I
it's Beyond Good and Evil. Is it Beyond Good and Evil?
It is Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, it took
Oh,
it
wow.
overtook it, didn't it? This year or
It's
last
going
year,
to.
just at the end of last year.
It's I think it's hold on, sorry. 14 years that has been.
Yeah, 14 years since it was announced.
Wow.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but the Skull and Bones game was announced. When was it? I think it was 2013 or something.
It's
like
a
that.
long. It was after Black Flag came out, wasn't it? Whenever that
Mm.
was.
Oh no, sorry. It's been it's 2017. It's not.
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say it's not quite as old as that.
So it's it's 6 years. So I mean, 6
Yeah.
years is still a fucking long time.
It's
isn't
a
it?
long time for Ubisoft not to
To-
publish a
it's,
game.
It's
it
a long time
announced.
to announce a game and go, yeah, it's coming, and then
Yeah.
I think 2020 was the first sort of time it was like, yeah, it's going to come in 2020, and it's still not here. So crazy.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
think the
Crazy.
problem is though they keep giving dates when it's going to release and then keep cancelling those dates and extending it, and that's the issue.
Yeah,
You know, at least with Duke Nukem Forever, and even to be fair, Beyond Good and Evil have never set a date. You know what I mean? They're just in the ether somewhere.
yeah.
What vaporware is, as we used to call these things.
Vaporware, yeah. So
Vaporware.
I've gotten into this next. It's funny. So there's like a list of like games that like got
Alan Wake.
10
Alan Wake was a
longest-
long one, wasn't it?
on the list. Shut up. Right, 10
All right.
longest delays in gaming history, and how many years they took to come out. Number 10 was Call of Cthulhu. I don't really
All
know
right,
the
okay.
game, but
Don't
it
know
took,
what that is.
took 6 years to come out. Alan Wake is number 9. You'll be happy to see.
Yeah.
That took 6 years to come out. Resident Evil 4 took 6 years to come out. LA Noire. I remember LA Noire being announced like for ages, and it took
Yeah.
7 years to come out.
Did it? Shit, I
Um,
didn't know it was that long.
Spore took 8
Oh god,
years.
Spore took forever. I
took
remember
8
that.
years to come out. The Last Guardian, which was basically cancelled,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
came back out in 9 years.
That's a good game though. I love that
9
game.
years. Team Fortress 2. I did not know this, but Team Fortress 2 apparently was delayed for 9 years. Too Human took 9 years to come out.
Too Human was shit.
Diablo 3 took 11 years. to come
Wow,
out.
I didn't know that.
And Duke Nukem Forever took 15 years to come
And
out.
that was terrible, that game, by the way.
And it was not. And it only really came. Duke Nukem Forever only really came out as a sort of gesture, really, as a kind of an experiment. Because, what's the name of the people that made Borderlands? What's their name?
Oh, God.
Gearbox.
Yeah,
Gearbox acquired the license, didn't they? And
Yeah, they did.
And,
Right.
Randy Pitchford
And
was
that-
like,
and
"Wouldn't it be
wasn't-
funny if we released this now? Like, wouldn't that
right,
be
and
cool?"
Borderlands was their only game they had done at that point, right? So like they had pedigree that was like, we know what we're doing, and so people were like, "Ooh, I'll get my hopes up."
Yeah, I think it was more just of like, wouldn't
It was
be
a
cool?
money grab. It was a money grab.
I
is
don't
what
know.
it
I don't think so. I disagree. I think it was more of a, wouldn't this be fun if we did this? Like, wouldn't this be an interesting thing to do that, you know, we have the power to do? Yeah, they make money from it, but I think you've got to love, if a project is basically dead, you've got to love it to sort of ignite it. And they probably knew that it wasn't going to be the best game in the world either. So
I think they were well aware of that. Because it was a piece of shit.
Yes.
We have got one email tonight, so let's read the email.
Hang on a second, you just said that, so
Piece of shit.
I can't
Yeah, I
resist
did.
playing Bill Hicks, the mighty Bill Hicks.
That ruled.
And this is Preposterous 8 of 52.
Oh man, here comes more about space.
Here we go. What's up, gents?
What's up?
So
Much love to you all, and I hope that you're all as well as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. The next factoid from space is the Dust Buster. Can you imagine?
This is gonna sway Stu now.
It is definitely not going to sway me. Can you imagine life without this portable handheld miracle worker? No, and neither can I. In 1969, NASA approached Black & Decker to develop a device for collecting samples from the moon's surface. Black & Decker developed the Dust Buster.
the Dustbuster 3000.
Where do you believe the moon landing took place or not? This tech has been perfect. You see, this is a problem with this fact straight away. Because, like, you know, if it never happened, they never used it for that. They didn't even use it for what it was intended for, apparently.
Yeah.
Collecting samples from the moon's surface. And in the intervening years and without space travel, it's unlikely to have ever been developed. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
See, I've not got a Dustbuster because I think they're a bit crap, to be honest.
They tend to have very weak engines, and
They
like,
do.
We have
if you
one.
have a couple of pretzel crumbs, you can sweep those up, but that's about it.
We have one in the office at work because sometimes someone spills something. So
And the compartment's too small to collect that much, and then you have to empty it all the time.
It's good for an office. It's good for. We have cleaners at the office that do all the bulk of the work. But like
I
sometimes,
bet
you know,
they
if
haven't
you
got
spill,
Dustbusters.
if you no, they got Henry Hoovers. They're not fucking around.
Exactly. They
Right.
got Rolls Royce of Hoovers.
But like you know, if somebody spills something in the office, it's useful. It's useful. Or if I tip over just like all the hole puncher bits on someone's desk because I feel like I want to do a power play, then I just do that because I can.
But it's not directly as a result of space. It's not come from space.
See, the only way that you're going to satisfy Stu here is that if the story reads like this.
If it said,
the story
I
reads
went to
like
the
this.
moon and we brought back the Xbox.
Not necessarily, no.
No, I went.
No.
We went to an asteroid and we brought back Nike trainers.
No.
Exactly.
No, I will be satisfied, right? This is how easy I am for this. By something that's been found in space that has then been utilized on Earth. So not necessarily material.
There's nothing in space.
But something discovered in space that has
there's
an
cobalt. I
effect
played No Man's Sky. There's
on
like
something
copper.
in the real world on Earth. That's what I want.
Just like
So,
what?
there you
Like
go.
what? Like a ratchet? Like we
I
didn't
don't
have
know.
ratchets, and then
They've discovered some sort of weird gamma ray, which they then utilized on Earth to do something. I don't know.
No, it's not happening.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. By the way,
we found these anal beads, and we discovered that if
exactly.
we
Now you're
shove 'em up,
talking. Now you're talking. Now, but there's another 44 facts to go. So
he's
know,
got a
maybe
chance.
one-
He's got a
there's
chance.
a chance. There's a chance.
He's got a whole year of this shit.
He's got a whole year. By the way, I can't tell you how much fun I'm having with Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2. Just love the graphics, and despite it being jank as fuck, and my inability to stay alive for more than 5 minutes at a time, my mates and I are having an absolute blast.
What
to
about the
put-
DMZ though? Are you playing that?
He's not said
DMZ,
that.
apparently.
He didn't say that.
Talk about it. We just said we want to know.
To put it into perspective, we are fortunate to finish in the top 10 and rarely win. None of us have a double figure number of kills in a game. but we finished laughing or raging and then laughing
It's
again.
just for the lols. It's for the lols.
Well, yeah.
I realised about 2 weeks ago that winning isn't everything, and nor is seamless and perfecting programming. It's the fun, the memories, and the feel of the game that gives it the soul and the affection. Is there a game that, despite its less than perfect operation, makes you feel the same? Fucking Skyrim.
Hello.
Fallout 3.
Why you gotta step on my shit?
Yeah, all
I
these
seriously
games are
thought about
broken.
reinstalling New Vegas. It's been a long time since I played New Vegas. I think that's gonna be maybe what I talk about next week. Has it been more than 10 years?
New
Definitely,
Vegas.
I
New
would've
Vegas was
said so,
2009, I think.
Yeah,
2009.
definitely.
Oh shit, 2010.
Yeah, that's 10 years.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
happening, baby.
So let's see if that holds up. Maybe they've patched it enough that it's not broken anymore.
No, it's
Who
gonna
knows?
be
I
broken
played
AF,
it.
man.
I
That
played
game
it in
is
about
crazy
2015, and
Yeah, I played it a bunch since it came out.
I thought it was great. I thought New Vegas was brilliant.
So there you go. Oh, by the way, if you say, talking of New Vegas, there's been a lot of. Have you heard of Fallout London?
No.
No.
So
Someone making
basically, some
London in
modders.
Fallout?
So modders are making a whole other Fallout game set in London.
Duke, why do you say something so quick? I mean, you got to drag it out like Stu. You said the same thing as Stu there, but you took too
Sorry.
short of amount of time.
My bad.
You got to
Yeah.
drag it out. You got to
Yeah,
say,
drag it
no,
out,
it's
man.
a
So,
mod
here's what
that
happened.
modders
Just
make
ready?
by
Yeah.
modern people,
Okay.
and they've
Yes.
recreated a city
All
instead
right.
of Washington D.C. It is
It's London.
London.
It looks. Just have a
England.
look it up, Duke. I think you will be interested. It looks kind of cool. So there
Okay.
you go. But they're making good progress, apparently.
Fuck London.
All
It
right.
probably looks the same. It's probably just like a 1-for-1. Just some
Anyway.
fucking pisshead shitting
They
in
will
the
finish
corner.
that at the same time as people get done making Google Maps satellite images into playable maps with actual buildings, and then that'll be the end of all developing of places. 'cause
That
people
will
use
be a
Google
thing,
Maps.
and it'll
That
be
will-
AI.
that'll
It'll be
definitely
it'll be made by an AI. That's my prediction.
And you know what?
Yeah.
As much as I bitch and moan about AI displacing people's jobs, I'll be like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Can I just? Can I
I want
just
to play a video
say?
game. It takes place in my hometown of Gainesville, Florida.
Can I
Yeah,
just say
man.
that's
Yeah.
that's already happened? And so,
Yeah, of
sorry.
course.
Yeah, your flight simulator bullshit.
Flight Simulator. That's
Stop
Yeah,
it.
basically
but,
that
but
game.
you can't go down there and shoot people.
You can
Yeah,
crash
really.
down there though if you like.
Yeah, we had
Got you
Flight
there,
Simulator
Chinny.
up on the we got our Xbox in the office,
Right.
and like Matt was playing Flight Simulator, because he's into it at the moment, and we were
So
flying,
good.
flying around Wolverhampton, and we were flying around Wolves, and we tried to fly over our office,
Yeah.
and try and crash into our office, and we did, and we found it, and was.
It's so funny though, is it? It's so cool. It is cool that you can do
When you
that
say
stuff.
fly into, it's more like bounce off.
Yeah, it is. It is. And there's no crash. There's no actual
No.
crash animation or anything. It just goes black screen and that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
Stay safe, all, and thanks for the show. You boys rock, Struckmeister. Well, thank you. Let's see what next week's fact has to hold. You never know. Maybe
Um,
next week's the one. Maybe next week's the one.
Maybe. Probably
Maybe
not,
it
but
is.
maybe.
Yeah, probably not, but-
MCD57 says at least everybody's favourite dumpster fire, COD, is available on all platforms.
I think he's talking about Starfield when we were talking about
Ah,
Starfield
right,
being
yeah,
an
yeah,
exclusive
right,
for
right,
Xbox.
right, right. Philip the Power Taylor says near as long as Splinter Cell fans. I don't know what he's saying.
He was talking about length of time a game's taken to come out.
I got the power.
Ah,
I think. I assume.
Why? Well, Splinter Cell take ages. Oh yeah, because it's not. Oh, I mean, it's been. There hasn't been a Splinter Cell. has there?
No, there's not.
Yeah,
Not
but
for a long
the
time.
difference there, Phil, the Power Taylor, is that look, they haven't announced that there isn't like a Splinter Cell. Fuck you, go fuck yourself.
No, they've not even
game,
announced one.
Whatever the title would be, like Splinter Cell hemorrhoids, like whatever it is, it hasn't been announced. Like it has to be announced, and then like, where is it? Conviction was a bit like that, Conviction got announced, and people were like, "What is this game?" Like, and then they delayed it for ages, and then it came out in 2009. But it got announced in like 2005, so Conviction had a little bit of a stint of being a weird
Yeah.
vaporware game.
There you go.
Duke,
And that's about it.
Duke,
I think.
before
Oh,
I
sorry.
forget,
Go on, carry on.
Duke,
Go
before
ahead.
I forget,
Yes, I'm listening. Yes.
stepping away from video games now, have you
Uh-huh.
watched a show called Top Boy?
Called what?
Top Boy.
Top Boy. No, I have not. I've never heard of Top Boy.
Top Boy is a British TV show,
Okay.
which features two actors. They used to be grime artists. That one is named Kano. He's brilliant.
Okay.
And then the other one is called Asher D. He was in a group called So Solid Crew, which were questionable at best. And it's a very good show. It's based in London. It's about gangsters and all that sort of shit. And all you need to know is that P means money and food means drugs, and then you're off to the races. And it's got brilliant actors in it. It's got Little Sims. She's a brilliant actress, and a rapper
Little
as
Sims,
well.
the one who did the something in the church or something in the church. What is it?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, I think
yes.
Antonio shared a song.
She's
from her.
great. Little Sims.
Yeah, okay.
And he's got the actor, the rapper Dave in it as well. And Dave's like a brilliant rapper as well.
I've heard Dave.
And yeah, I think it's right up your fucking street because it's got. I know you like British rap, and I know you like British grime music and stuff. And these actors, I don't know what they do with British rappers, but they're brilliant at acting as well.
Sorry, it's called Little Boy.
No, Top Boy.
Top Boy.
Okay. So the first season, it's a bit weird because it was made by the BBC. It was made by the BBC. So the first two seasons is called Top Boy Summer House. So you watch those first, and then Drake, Canadian rapper Drake, was such a big fan of the show. He said, "Why has this show been cancelled? It's too good," and then paid for it to be made on Netflix. So Top Boy Summer House first, 2 seasons, and then Top Boy 2 seasons with another season coming very soon. Very, very good.
Thank you. Appreciate that recommendation.
There you go. Right, I think it's time to do some shout outs and get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Oh wait, I went to add it to my list and it goes. I accidentally checked remove from my list, so I just haven't gotten around to it.
Well, it comes highly recommended. It's
funny how those things work out like that.
Yeah. It's
short.
It's
time for a shout out. Hey!
Last two seasons are like 10 episodes, but the 2 seasons before that they're like 4, 5, 6 episodes. So it's short.
Like on The Simpsons. Yeah, Shut Your Gob is the longest running TV show in British history, and tonight we have all 6 episodes.
Yeah, I mean it's just like it's done, So. Yeah, very good. Very, very good.
Well, I'm going to start. I'm going to shout out Danny, Lord of Legs, because
Danny.
He'll never hear this shout out because I doubt he'll ever tune.
You don't know that? Maybe he's still here. Maybe
he's probably lying on the floor in shock of what he's just.
I don't know what this is, but I love it.
Yeah. What I'd like to know is how does he? What is he? How is he the Lord of Legs? That's what I want.
He's a tap dancer.
You know what I mean? What does that username mean?
Maybe he collects legs.
Oh, he could. That's right. It's possible.
You know,
he eats
Danny Lord of
He's
Legs.
the king
like
of legs.
Cracks them open.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's my shout out. Danny, Lord of the Legs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Duke, over to you.
Yeah, I will shout out Step J and Darren Sim and Christian Barclay and Philip Taylor and MCD57 and Fraser and Tom Lewis and Darren Sim. I already said that. James Gavlar, Luke Rooney, Ian, and everybody else who's part of our community. SLH, we haven't heard from you in a couple weeks. Jacinta, hope you're doing well. Antonio, Derek Sains, we haven't heard from you in a while, but hopefully at some point you'll get back in touch.
I know, yeah, Derek, bless him.
Everybody who's part of this, everybody who chats on our Discord, everybody who's written in email or speak pipes ever, we love you, and we hope you'll get in touch again at some point. So,
your attention, please.
We love you.
What is that saying?
I don't know.
It's the worst.
That's what I found it. No, I think I might have made that for my
you made that one,
cell phones.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I did the robot. I found some alert noise, and then I added the robot voice over it. Yeah, because it's like this.
Your attention, please. At this time, all cell phones must be stored in a pocket or bag.
What the?
Thank you.
Is that for your class at school? Oh
when
my
it's
god!
Time for students to get to work.
What the
and
bloody
they ignore
hell?
me and they go on staring at their phones.
Hey, let's shout out Michael Biddle. Who the hell? Did we get some new people just appearing in the chat? I know he's just appeared in the chat. He's just waved at us.
Biddle has appeared in the chat.
Biddle, let's wave back. Hi, Michael.
All right, Chinny, your shout outs.
I don't wait. Look how low I am on the
I know, it looks like you're about to fall out of that.
Like I start up here and I go down.
Yeah, over the course of the show.
It's just slumping down.
Stu, talk about Elden Ring some more. I think
No.
Stu
Yeah,
does
oh,
the
Elden
opposite.
Ring.
I feel
Oh,
like
that
Stu is
game.
rising over the course of the show.
I have.
Yeah. Shout out to Fraser because I messaged Fraser about something, and I said, can you help me with this thing? And he said, call me, right? And then I said, I'm busy right now. I'll give me 15 minutes. And then completely forgot to call him.
Of course, but what, you forgot to do something.
I know.
I can't believe that.
I know. I felt bad.
Hard to believe.
So, yeah, I forgot to call. Sorry, Fraser, but yeah, when you're free, I'll chat to you. And shout out to Robin, like for organising, or Greg, whoever it is, organising Vegas. So if anybody does.
Las Vegas.
If everybody does want to invite themselves and come along to Las Vegas on the 18th to the 22nd of May 2023, then come along. But we know it's a big ask. We probably would be happy with just us lot. So, but there it is. There's the invite.
I'm sure you'll have fun.
There it is.
I'm sure you will.
Sure.
There it is.
I think that's it. So thanks for listening, everybody.
That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Go to VGHub.net.
Postmodern. All right, weird for the sake of
Maybe people should think before they speak.
Bitcoin ain't nothing but soybeans on the computer.
Brilliant.
There it is.
Rightio, people. I'm going to go because I might as well make the most of the 10 minutes earlier finish, Just saying. Right. No worries. I will.
We have finished earlier, though.
Yeah,
We
slightly
did finish
earlier. We
early.
have.
Yeah.
We have.
Because I kept it moving and we started.
Kept
a
it
little early,
moving.
so,
We could do.
and
We could
grooving.
do.
next week.
And grooving and
Yes.
moving.
Hey, we could do an hour
Moving.
show if you want.
No,
Yeah,
I'm happy to
exactly.
start at 8:30. That's fine, and it'll be as long as
Okay.
it is. So yeah, don't forget, people. 8:30 from now on. There you go. Right.
Is it half eight from now on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing half eight from now on.
Yeah. Well,
that a problem?
unless I'm working, because obviously if I'm not working, but then what's the
Oh,
point of
okay.
changing
I
it?
didn't know we were arranging everything around you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, obviously, who else matters in this show?
Exactly.
It is
Is that
the
a
Stuart
problem for
Fowler
you,
show
Jenny?
because
It is to get
70%
you
of that episode was you banging on about
Yeah,
Elden
it is.
Ring.
It's getting
Well,
up
maybe
at
if you had other
5:30,
games
man,
to
that's the
talk about,
problem.
Chinny. Jesus.
I'm only joking. Yeah, that's
It's too
fine.
late, man,
That's
when I
fine.
go up at 5:30,
Yeah,
it
it's
really
fine.
is.
All right. Okay.
Okie dokie. See you guys
Have a good
later.
week,
Thanks
y'all.
very much for being so accommodating as
Bye.
always. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.